Here we are, guys, in part 13 of this story. What if Naruto was being trained by Madara and Hashirama? Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Now, let's begin. The next morning Naruto has donned his armor, strapped his gun behind his back and attached it to his side, and he was standing at the front gate with Jiraiya and Mikuru standing next to him. Hinata, Haku, Ino, Mikado and Tsunade were standing in front of them. "Well, Mikuru-kun, this is goodbye for now. I'm going to miss you," Mikado says sadly. "Just promise me you'll come back to me. I couldn't stand another heartbreak like that." "I promise I will, Mikado-chan." Mikuru responds and kissed Mikado with as much passion as he could muster. Mikado blushed a deep red and hugged Mikuru, tears in her eyes. Tsunade looks at Jiraiya with a stern look on her face. "If he comes back a pervert, I'll kill you," Tsunade says sternly. "Well, that's why I'm here, plus I wanted to help out my nephew," Mikuru responds. "Don't worry, Tsunade, I'll be keeping that stuff to myself, Sanin's honor." Jiraiya holds out his hand and Tsunade grabs it. "Naruto-kun, promise you'll write us," Ino says, tears brimming in her eyes. "I promise I'll write you." Naruto smiles back. "Be safe, Naruto-kun," Hinata says, then she takes out a small pendant with the Hyuga clan, Yuki clan and Yamanaka clan. "Keep this with you as a memento to remember us by." "I promise I'll come back safe and sound, Hinata-chan, Haku-chan, Ino-chan." Naruto gives them all a quick, passionate kiss, then he, Jiraiya and Mikuru walked out of the village and started walking along the path. Naruto took one look back at the village he called home, then he, Mikuru and Jiraiya ran off, and after a few miles had passed, Jiraiya looked at Mikuru and Naruto. "We need to visit some of my contacts around the Shinobi world. That should take about a year," Jiraiya said. "Great, a year of doing nothing," Naruto grumbled. "Au contraire, Naruto, one of my contacts is a spy in the Akatsuki, someone you know very well." "Who?" "Itachi Uchiha." "Itachi spying on the Akatsuki for you?" Naruto says, shocked. "Yeah, we're going to meet him in a town up ahead and maybe he can give you some training with your Susano." "I hope so, because if this is an ambush you better pray I make it out of there alive or you're a dead man." "Don't worry, I can ensure that Itachi won't attack us." "Alright, where do we meet Itachi?" "In a town 9 miles north of here in 2 days' time." "Right, let's go." Naruto and the others leap away heading north, and in a few hours they arrived in the town and Naruto looked around, then back at Jiraiya and Mikuru. "I'm going to do some training with Madara-sensei." "Alright, I'm going to gather intel." Jiraiya giggles perversely. "Intel my ass," Mikuru says. Naruto walks to an abandoned field and sits down and crosses his legs and enters his mindscape. When he opens his eyes again, he's standing in front of Kurama's cave. Then he walks over to the house and he sees Madara and Hashirama standing there. "Alright Naruto, let's get started. First things first," Madara says, and his eyes start off in their Mangekyo state, then they expand to the Rinnegan. "Place your hand on my head and extract the information necessary, and I'll resist the soul extraction by using my Rasengan." "Alright Madara-sensei." Naruto responds and then places his hand on Madara's head and starts searching through Madara's memories, and then looks and sees the fight at the Valley of the End, and then he starts looking through Madara's eyes. Naruto was standing in front of Hashirama back at the Valley of the End. "Madara, why did I have to end like this?" Hashirama asked. "Our clans will never work together properly. What has happened will happen, but that's not important," Naruto responds. Then Naruto draws the gun by. "Now shall we dance?" "I'm sorry Madara, that it came to this," Hashirama says and charges, and Naruto blocks the attack and strikes back. Then Hashirama slams his palm on a scroll and summons a bunch of weapons, and Naruto slams his palm on the ground. Summoning jutsu. Then in a cloud of smoke Kurama appears and Naruto lands on his head. "Go Nine-Tails!" Kurama roars and charges Hashirama and slams his palms together, and wooden trees start springing up, but Kurama bites down on the roots and lets out a furious roar that shattered the rest of the branches. Naruto jumped off of Kurama's head and charged Hashirama, who jumped up to meet him. Hashirama then threw several shuriken at Naruto's head, and Naruto lifted the gun by and blocked the shuriken, then with a swing launched them back at Hashirama, who used wood style to defend himself. Then Kurama's claw rose up and shattered the branch. Hashirama and Naruto clashed again and again when another roar from Kurama set a cloud of dust into the air, obscuring Naruto's vision of Hashirama. Naruto widened his eyes and a gigantic shuriken flew out of the dust cloud. Naruto's left eye started spinning and the shuriken reversed its trajectory, and the wood branch that threw it caught it again, and then Naruto watched as the shuriken came flying back at him, but he dodged it with ease, knowing exactly where it was coming from. Hashirama's eyes widened in shock as Naruto's left eye spun again and the jutsu ended. Naruto's eye snapped open and he started gasping for breath as the adrenaline flooded through his veins. "Did you learn what you needed to, Naruto?" Madara asks. "Yes, I did, sensei," Naruto says. "What an intense battle, I could feel it, the fact that both of your lives were on the line and the tiniest mistake could cost you your life, what a rush. I know that's why any fight I have now is utterly boring. I can't get that rush of adrenaline that I got when I fought Hashirama. Now that you've mentioned it, minus the battles I genuinely enjoy, I too found certain battles just plumb boring." "So in that way I get where you're coming from," Naruto said as he gazed back at some of his memories of battle he partook in. "And your strength is part and parcel to having special people in your life." Madara-sensei, that isn't news to me," Naruto says, thinking of the people who are waiting for him back home, from the Ichiraku crew to his senseis, to the beautiful girls who are sure to grow stronger in his absence. "It just occurred to me, my uncle has special people in his life too, so it would be selfish of me to not include him, which makes one wonder what should he be taught. Well, he has a Kekkei Tota combo of earth, fire, and water. Perhaps Hashirama-sensei can teach him to unlock new possibilities for his metal style." "But what?" Kurama says, gaining their attention as he was on his belly staring in the window. "That's a good question." Naruto starts scratching his head. "Well, let's figure that out another time," Madara said, and Naruto looks around, then he fades from his mindscape. When Naruto opens his eyes, a few hours have passed but the sun is still high in the sky. Naruto then gets up and walks toward the hotel Jiraiya told him they would be staying at when he sees his uncle walking out of a restaurant with some food in bags. "Naruto," Mikuru says, shocked. "I was just about to go and get you some food. You've been in your mindscape for a couple hours." "Yeah, I got the information that I needed from Madara-sensei," Naruto responded. "Anyway, let's head back to the hotel and wait for Uro-sennin." "I've got a better idea. Naruto, is that the women's bath over yonder direction?" "Yeah, why?" "Pretty safe bet where Jiraiya is." "Yup. Want that activity of his to backfire, please." "Polite boy," Mikuru says, pulling a kunai out of his storage seal, launches it at a tree, cutting a rope that was concealed in the tree. "Wah," said one Jiraiya, who was now dangling from his feet in fist range of the women's bath. "Whose bright idea was this?" Jiraiya said, holding his bindings. "Hey, don't look at me," said a chucking Naruto. "Well, Mikuru. And they say revenge isn't worth it. Boy, do they have aspects of that backwards." Mikuru busted out laughing. "What are you talking about?" Naruto, recall how I quote don't have much respect for Jiraiya. "Yeah, I was curious what you meant," Naruto said. "Well, this screwball had peeped on your mother, and when your father saw him, ah man, he and your mother ripped him a new one, Jiraiya. But that was years ago," Jiraiya complained. "Namikaze Rule 1, never mess with family if you want to live. Anyway, we should get some sleep. Itachi will meet us just outside of town tomorrow morning." Jiraiya looked at Naruto and Mikuru. "Get some sleep, Naruto. Itachi's known to be a slave driver." Naruto lies down on the bed and then he falls asleep. Pain was standing on the looking over the village he controlled after he wrested it from Hanzo. "Itachi, what brings you here?" Pain asked without turning around. "Leader Sama, I have a letter from my mother addressed to you, and I also need to spend the next 6 months training and seeking treatment for my condition. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki is nothing to scoff at. He isn't even in his prime and he can already command great power, and from Zetsu's report he can utilize all 3 powers of the Mangekyo Sharingan, Amaterasu, Susano and Tsukuyomi. And now that he's training with the Toad Sage Jiraiya, he's only going to get stronger, and if he masters the Kyuubi's power he'll be trouble even for Kisame and I together." Itachi says, bowing. "Show me the letter." "Yes, Leader Sama." Itachi pulls out the letter and hands it to Pain. Pain opens the letter and looks it over. "Itachi, you told her what to address me as. That was dangerous of you." Pain glares at Itachi. "I understand, Leader Sama, but I need to train in private. I can't have Zetsu following me. He radiates hatred and I will be spying on the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, and he somehow has the power to detect darkness. I can disguise mine to the point if I suppress my chakra I'm invisible to him." "Very well, if what you say is true then I will have to leave you to your own devices, but I want an estimate of how long you will be gone." 6 months, Leader Sama, is what I need. There is only one place I can seek treatment now, and that is in a place a day's travel from here in the Land of Fire. "Very well, I want an update on your progress once a month. Now get moving." "Yes sir." Itachi runs off. Just then Konan steps out of the shadows. "Pain." "I know, Konan, but if what Itachi said is true we can't have Zetsu or anyone here from the Akatsuki after Itachi, or he'll be compromised and killed." "Maybe I can go after Itachi. I don't think I've got evil in my heart." "Not an option. You are still needed here. We can't afford to lose you. I care for you too greatly to risk it." Pain looked on with concern etched on his usually blank face. What are we going to do about the other Jinchuriki? We wait for 3 years. I'll send Kisame and Zetsu to investigate the Sanbi's disappearance. Yes, Pain. What if Itachi gets caught by the Kyuubi Jinchuriki? If worse comes to worse, I will head after the Kyuubi Jinchuriki myself. After all, no one can defeat a god. Itachi was dashing at full speed out of the land of rain and headed towards his old home. His thoughts on what to report to Jiraiya. I have to keep near Naruto to keep Zetsu away from me, but I'll have to report, but then I'll let Jiraiya-sama know. Itachi thinks, running along the road when he reaches a cross point, then turning on the road he continues on his way. After a few hours he travel, he reaches an encampment of bandits. Itachi takes off his Akatsuki robes and placed in his travel pack and continued on his way when suddenly 3 bandits jump out holding weapons. Alright buddy, hand over your valuables and we won't gut you. One bandit says. Sorry, but I'm in a bit of a rush, so if you would just get out of my way I won't kill you. Itachi activated his Sharingan and stared them in their eyes. That's the SHSHSH Sharingan. I recognize him now, this guy's Itachi Uchiha. Run for it. A second said, and just like that they ran for it, leaving Itachi alone. Ah, the benefits of being an S-rank missing ninja, Itachi said contented. Then he continued on his way. Itachi arrived in the town where he was to rendezvous with Jiraiya. Itachi took on a henge of an old man with a cane and he arrived in a small clearing and Jiraiya walked in followed by Naruto and Makaru. Itachi, it's good to see you again even if you did slaughter your clan. Naruto said. Naruto-kun, how are you? Itachi asked as he undid the transformation, returning to his original form. I'm doing well, Shisui's eye has been quite useful. Ah, that's good to hear. Now for my report. Itachi looked at Jiraiya. The Akatsuki have decided to delay their bijou hunt for 3 years while Kisame and Zetsu find out what happened to the Sanbi and take observation of when exactly it will reform. My leader, Pain, has scattered the members of the Akatsuki to the winds in order to obtain information on the remaining tailed beasts. So far we captured the Nanabi and Gobi. Here's our member list. Deidara the Mad Bomber, Rouge Ninja Oviwa, user of the explosive style utilizing long-range combat, his partner Sasori of the Red Sands, and a very powerful puppet master, Kisame Hoshigaki, my partner, master of water-style ninjutsu and wielder of the great sword Saimata, which has the capacity to absorb and transfer chakra to its master. It can even absorb Bija chakra, or so he claims. The immortal Hidan, priest of the god Jashin. He is supposedly immortal, and from what I can tell his partner Kakazu possesses some kind of jutsu that allows him to stay alive after killed, and he's a cash addict and has very powerful jutsu. Together he and Hidan are called the Zombie Brothers. Orochimaru used to be a member of our organization, but after he failed to possess my body he fled the organization. Our leader, Pain, he like you Naruto wields the Rinnegan, but as to how your guess is as good as mine. Konan, our only female member, partner to Pain-sama, and finally Zetsu, our organization spy. He can travel through the ground and conceal his chakra, but I think he answers only to one person, and I don't think it's Pain, someone leading the Akatsuki from the shadows, but whoever that is I don't know. Itachi finished. All S-rank shinobi from the villages except Kuma, they're oddly loyal, Jiraiya concluded. Correct. Now for the next 6 months I'm investigating you, Naruto, or at least that's what Pain thinks, but the reality is I'm helping you now. Any skills I can help you with? Well, I'm sure that you've had time to master Susano. After all, you've had access to your Mangekyo for 4 years. I'd sure like to improve upon what I have, Naruto said. Alright Naruto, why don't you show me what you've got and we'll take it from there. Right. Naruto activates his Mangekyo and the Susano rises up, taking on the 4-armed warrior Madara usually takes into battle. Very good Naruto, you've completed the initial form of Susano, but I'm sure that Madara can help you take it even farther. Why don't you bring him out? Any pointers I can get from the legendary Madara himself I'd love to hear. Alright, I'll give this little Uchiha some dance moves, Madara says. Then Naruto makes the necessary hand signs and then a clone with the Sharingan, and it makes his hand sign and transforms into Madara. Now young Uchiha, shall we dance? Oh boy. Sensei, I'm here to learn from him, not kill him, Naruto scolded. Right, now let's see your Susano, young Uchiha. I've only got the regular Mangekyo, not the eternal, so I can only use it as a brief moment, Itachi says, rubbing his head. Alright young Uchiha, show us your Susano and I'll analyze it and then we'll get to work. Right. Itachi activates his Mangekyo Sharingan and his completed Susano rises up. For a regular Mangekyo, that is impressive. Itachi, was it? Yes Madara. Alright now Naruto, we need to get to work. I warn you, this next time our training will look like child's play compared to what you did 8 years ago. I'm ready Madara sensei, I can take anything you can dish out. Madara and Itachi grow sadistic smiles. Well, we don't have all day, Naruto-kun, so let's get started, Itachi said. Shall we, Madara-sama? Let's. And with that they charged Naruto, pushing him to his limits. Naruto was standing in an open field, Itachi and Madara standing next to each other across from him. Naruto then collapsed on his knees from chakra exhaustion. You've done well, Naruto, you've mastered Susano, Madara said, smiling. It took you 6 long months, but now your Susano rival's mine. Now let's have the fuzzball restore your chakra and we'll clash your final Susano against your uncle's unleashed power to test its defensive capabilities. Your offensive has already been proven. You leveled entire mountain range with a single swing of its sword, but if I were you I would save this power as your trump card, so you know what to do, Naruto. Let's get started. Madara looked at Maikaru. Maikaru, Namikaze, if you would be so kind. Right. Maikaru nods and makes the tiger hand sign. Metal style, Colossus mode. Maikaru then makes the dragon hand sign. Metal style, metal dragon skin. Then Maikaru sprouted a dragon hide and sprouted wings and a dragon skull. Then Naruto activated his eyes and his perfect Susano rose up and the ethereal warrior grew to the size of a tailed beast. Naruto floated in a gem at its forehead and looked down at his uncle who, using the super lightweight boulder jutsu, took to the skies. Then he used the super boulder weighted jutsu, came crashing down at Naruto, but the Susano held strong, and even when Itachi, Madara and even Jiraiya, in sage mode, threw attacks at it, there wasn't even a scratch in Naruto's Susano. Naruto slammed his foot down and everyone went flying, and then Naruto backhanded his uncle and he slammed into the ground and he caused a huge crater where he landed. Naruto deactivated his Susano and he landed on his feet and looked at his senseis, and they looked back with a smile on their faces. Well done, Naruto, you've mastered Susano perfectly. Itachi smiled and Naruto smiled back when suddenly Gamakatsuki appeared next to Jiraiya. Yo, Gamakatsuki said. Hey Gamakatsuki, what did Fukasaku and Shima say? Fukasaku and Shima-sama told me to tell you that they'll train the boy in sage mode. Gamakatsuki looks at Naruto. It's going to be rough, kid. I hope you're immune to pain, because otherwise it's going to be a hell of a ride. I'll be fine. For your sake I hope you're right, kid. Let's do this, Uro-sennin. Damn it, stop calling me that, Jiraiya yelled. Anyway, let's get moving, you've got a long road ahead of you. I'm ready for anything you can dish out. There is that confidence again. Madara shakes his head. Now Uro-sennin, I don't have all day, let's get moving. We have to wait. To be just then Naruto, Madara, Jiraiya, and Maikaru vanished and then reappeared in small grassy plain. Reverse summoned. Jiraiya finished. What the hell? Fukasaku shouted as he saw Madara standing there. What is Madara Uchiha doing here? He is a part of me and he is my teacher. Naruto responded. Not to be rude or anything, but who are you and where are we? My name Fukasaku and I am one of the Toad Elders of Mount Myaboku. Mount Myaboku, I have heard that name before. Naruto started scratching his head. Wait, I remember now, Uro-sennin said he was the sage of Mount Myaboku when he introduced himself. Uro-sennin, Fukasaku laughed wildly. That's a perfect name for Jiraiya boy. Not you too, Pa, Jiraiya said, crying anime tears. Anyway, we're here to train you in sage mode, but I warn you it won't be easy. I understand, but it's nothing I can't handle. Naruto looked at them, his Rinnegan flaring. Anyway, Ma probably just finished lunch, but I warn you, if you don't like bugs you're going to go hungry here. Mom always said not to be a picky eater, but I prepared some food for the trip, so I think I'll be okay. You're a smart kid, Naruto boy. Now let's get started. First things first, I need to examine your body. I sense you've altered it. That I have it was in order to create a more perfect link with the world around me. Naruto shed his armor, revealing the rods all along his body. Those rods, what are they? My ocular prowess allows me to summon a very powerful entity known as the body of the Jubi, the Geto statue. Naruto took out a black rod from his pouch. These rods disrupt the flow of chakra, but in the way I've inserted them it actually allows me to gather sage chakra even if I'm moving. But does this mean you've already mastered sage mode? No, I've never done that, but I know someone who has. Who? Hashirama Sanju. The first Hokage. Yes. Naruto makes a hand sign. Soulless shadow clone jutsu. In a clone appeared, and in a flash of smoke Hashirama appeared and he looked at the frog elders. I am able to utilize sage mode, and long ago during my battle with Madara here, at the Valley of the End. So with the help of Madara and the Jubi's body and Hinata Hyuga, I inserted chakra rods along the chakra network, inserting them into Naruto's chakra points. Now he is able to gather sage chakra even while moving. You weren't called the world's greatest medic for nothing, Fukasaku said, laughing. Now let's get started with your training. Fukasaku pulled out a black rod similar to the ones Naruto inserted into himself. What the hell is that? Madara asked. This rod disrupts all sage chakra and this will ensure that Naruto doesn't turn into a stone frog. I thought it was a wooden statue, Hashirama said. Sage chakra is different in Mount Myaboku. Your training deals with your wood style, so that's why it would turn you into a wooden statue. But here it deals with toads, and while it would be beneficial to learn both sage modes, as it is said that only Hashirama could defeat Madara Uchiha. Ah, the Valley of the End, good times, Madara said with a far-off look in his face. Anyway Naruto boy, we should get started, we don't have a long time after all. From what I heard from Namikaze, you mastered Madara's Susano in 6 short months. Let's get started, Naruto said. Now what do I do? First things first, I want you to start gathering natural energy, but I'm going to place this oil on your forehead. Fukasaku dipped his finger into the oil, then rubbed it on Naruto's skin. It's able to gather sage chakra as easily as breathing. What the catch? One who fails to properly control the natural energy will be turned into a frog. Of course. Naruto says. Then Fukasaku pulls out a black stick that Naruto recognizes far too well. Now let's get started. Right. Naruto says. Then Fukasaku whacks Naruto with the stick. Was I transforming? Yes, I saw it, but with your Rinnegan it's rather difficult to tell, so I might have to let it go on for a bit. Alright, let's do this. Fukasaku started splashing the oil on Naruto, who tries his best to maintain the internal balance of his spiritual and physical energy. After a month of training at Fukasaku, it hit Naruto at least 450 times and Naruto was getting annoyed. On the 451st try, Naruto finally managed to maintain the balance in order to achieve Sage Mode, but it wasn't perfect. Nicely done Naruto boy, now let's put it to the test. Lift the stone frogs here. Naruto jumped into the air and then landed in front of the stone frog. Then he picked up the stone frog with great effort. Yes, Naruto said. Then he put the frog statue back down. Nicely done Naruto boy, you've mastered it well, and it only took you a month to master it. Now let's practice perfecting the transformation. Not even Jiraiya boy was able to do this, and he partly transformed. Give me a month, I'll have it down flat. Fukasaku started laughing. I warn you, it won't anywhere near as easy without the oil. Challenge accepted. Naruto sat down and formed the lotus position and started gathering sage chakra as he normally did, but then he felt himself losing control of the energy, and just as he expected, Fukasaku whacked him. Then he sat again and tried again. And again. And again. And again. This process went on for several days, which turned into weeks, which turned into a month, 1 month turned into 7. Eventually Naruto was quickly growing annoyed. Naruto roared out in frustration, and using his Susano he slammed the ethereal fist into the wall. Don't worry so much Naruto boy, it took Jiraiya boy 3 years to master everything. I don't have that kind of time, I want to master this, then Hashirama's power, and move on to Kurama's. You're impatient Naruto, I won't master Sage Jutsu that way. Naruto inhaled then exhaled, then looked at Fukasaku. Is there an easier way to master gathering sage chakra? Well, I can tell you something, but I guarantee it won't be easy. Easy smeezy, I won't let this deter me. Naruto says, determined. Naruto then follows Fukasaku and they reach a mountain, and Naruto saw brick tiles stacked in a pile at the base of the mountain. This what I think it is? Yep, it's your next training area. So let me guess, I'm to practice gathering sage chakra while not moving whatsoever, and if I move I fall. Yep, now Naruto boy, follow me. Fukasaku grabbed a stone tile and jumped up the mountain, and Naruto followed him, grabbing another one, and he leapt up the mountain after Fukasaku, and after several feet of leaping, Naruto and Fukasaku reached the top. Naruto then jumped onto the stone slab and started a deep breathing exercise that Madara taught him. Naruto was sitting down on the slab along with 2 shadow clones, and it started wobbling again, but then Naruto managed to stabilize it and a rainstorm formed, but in the end Naruto managed to stay exactly still, and a few hours later Naruto managed to gather sage chakra, and after a few minutes orange shading appeared under and around his eyes. His Rinnegan got dode-like slits, but no more changes occurred. Then Naruto looked at Fukasaku. He's done it. It's astonishing to know how far he's gotten without the oil. The eye shading that proves you're a sage has appeared. He's got no toad markings, that means as a sage Naruto boy has surpassed his master. He's also gathering a lot more nature chakra than when he was the oil. Fukasaku looks at Naruto with pride on how his latest student has come. Well done Naruto boy, now we can move on to the final step of your training. Final step? Yes, you've mastered gathering sage chakra while staying still, and now that you've gained control, let's focus on you gathering while you move. Right, because of the rods. Naruto looks at his arm. Right Naruto boy, let's get working, we've got a lot to cover and not much time to do it. Right. Naruto dropped into a stance and then both charged one Naruto gathering sage chakra. A few hours later Naruto had managed to hold his own continually gathering sage mode chakra. Even Madara was impressed with Naruto's progress. To think that he's capable of this and the boy's not even in his prime yet. I almost hate to imagine what he can do when he reaches his prime in 10 years. Madara said. Scared are we, Madara? Hashirama taunts. Hashirama, this boy is stronger than either of us right now. Only when we work together can we defeat him and both of our names strike fear into the hearts of shinobi around the world. He's already an SS ranked shinobi. I think only Obito at full power could take him, and that's only because his Mangekyo allows him to become intangible, but I'm sure Naruto could find a way out of it with ease. And to top it all off, Naruto's not in his prime and I wonder what will happen when he reaches it. Kurama adds. Holy crap. Hashirama says. Holy crap indeed. Madara responds. Naruto goes to bed. Then the next morning he wakes up, then he sits by the oil waterfall and enters his mind to train with Hashirama. Because he now understood the concept behind sage mode, it took a little adjustment, but he mastered the power behind Hashirama's sage mode in just a few hours. Eventually the time came for Naruto to leave Mount Myaboku. Naruto used a summon to send his letters to his loved ones, and Mikuru was reminded of a time during the Land of Birds mission. As I gaze out onto the lake with Mikado, I let my eyes wander a bit, then my gaze turned to Mikado. There was something about the moonlight that literally enchanting. The moonlight made her hair shone in a hypnotic way. The bottom line, the night made Mikado look beautiful, and internally I want her and I never want to blow my chance with her again. It was summertime and the sun was high in the sky. Fugaku and I were sparring with Daijutsu during the first half of the bout. They were even, but Fugaku had outfought him. Mikuru. Fugaku gained my attention. I'm asking Mikado to marry me, but nothing. You had your chance to make a move. While you may think I don't deserve her, in my mind she needs a man who's not afraid to take action. As much as I wanted to argue, he was right as I lay on the training field listening to the trees blowing in the wind. Internally wishing I was a better man for Mikado. Fate to reality. I felt myself leaning for her, about to do what I should have done, but it wasn't to last. Alright you two, we have to head back, said Kakashi. I was this close to sealing the deal, and just like that the moment was gone. Later on the way home. Naruto, you'll need to rescue your sensei. Why is that? Naruto said at the out of the blue words his uncle spoke. Because the next time his bad timing habit ruins a romantic moment, regardless of whom it may surround. Kakashi will have a date with 6 angry ladies, he said, showing his claws after explaining. Naruto, Mikuru and Jiraiya left Mount Myaboku, and after a while of traveling they reach a small town when Jiraiya looked at Naruto with a stern look on his face. Naruto, we need to teach you to control Kurama's power. Kakashi told me what happened in the Land of the Moons, how you lost control over his power. We're going to use the key to loosen the seal. I want you to maintain control as much as possible. Right. Naruto says. Then he places his hand on his seal and twists it a bit, and Kurama's power starts leaking from the seal, and instantly the first tail appears and Naruto stands there, the tail flickering back and forth. Then simultaneously the second and third tail emerge. Naruto drops into a more feral stance as the power of Kurama begins to influence his instincts. So far so good, he's gone a bit more feral, but so far he's maintaining control. Jiraiya says, and Mikuru nods in confirmation, but just then the fourth tail emerges and Naruto's skin starts ripping apart and a dark red chakra takes its place. Naruto's Rinnegan fades from his eyes and a dark fury stands in their place, and Naruto charges without warning, slashing and attacking both his uncle and Jiraiya. They jump out of the way in an effort to stay alive. Naruto then vanished and reappeared right in front of Jiraiya, punching him in the chest, causing a deep wound. Kurama was standing in front of Naruto's subconscious form. Naruto had a glazed look in the eye. Kit. Listen to me, you have to focus. Kit, listen. Kit. Kurama roars, trying to gain Naruto's attention. Roar. Naruto screamed in fury. Suddenly Hashirama and Madara come running and tried to grab Naruto's shoulder, but the collar on Kurama's neck glowed in a flash and they were both repelled. It's no use, we can't reach him, Hashirama said desperately. There's no getting through to him, we have to just wait it out, but we have to do something. Madara says. Then he looks at Kurama. Can't you do anything? This is your chakra after all? I can't control it. This seal draws my chakra from me and integrates it into his system. I can't stop it. There's nothing I can do against him. Kurama says, shaking his head. Damn. Hashirama cursed. Mikuru dodges another strike from Naruto's cubified form, then he made the horse hand sign. Fire style, great fire annihilation. Mikuru exhales a huge blast of fire, but Naruto unleashes a huge roar, blasting the flames aside. Naruto, calm down, Jiraiya yelled in a vain effort to try and calm Naruto down, but it was to no avail. Naruto's tails gathered in the air and chakra balls start flying from his body and they started gathering at his mouth. Oh no! Naruto then opens his mouth and eats the chakra ball, then his stomach expands and he opens his mouth and unleashes a blasting roar and the tailed beast bomb fires from his mouth. Mikuru grabs the wounded Jiraiya and dives out of the way with great effort, and then it hit the mountain behind them, which explodes, obliterating most of the mountain. Such power! Jiraiya says, shocked. Tell me about it, but we've got bigger problems. If Naruto doesn't snap out of this soon, the entire town will be destroyed. If only we could get Hashirama out here, he could suppress the chakra, but I guess you can't win them all, I guess. Just then Naruto lets loose another roar and goes dashing into town. Shit, Mikuru shouted, and he and Jiraiya ran after Naruto's rampaging form. Naruto was lying down in the on a mattress in a hotel room in the town that would have suffered his wrath if Mikuru hadn't hit Naruto with the 5-prong seal. Naruto's skin a deep red because of deep burns on his skin. Mikuru was kneeling next to his nephew while Jiraiya was taken to Mount Myaboku to heal. Just then in a poof of smoke Jiraiya appeared and he looked at Naruto, whose wounds were already healing from Kurama's power. I just don't get what went wrong. The way we did the training was sound, perhaps it's not what and how but where we do it. Mikuru says, trailing off, then his face lights up and he snaps his fingers. I've got it. What do you mean? Jiraiya asked, confused. I gotta drop a line to Lady Tsunade, Mikuru says, running out of the door. Okay, go, as he sends the messenger bird on his way. Mikuru was sending 3 encoded items for Tsunade and the village. The first was a request for Tsunade and attached message for the Raikage requesting for Naruto to train on the island Turtle with B. The second was a favor request exchange if Tsunade can get him and Mikado into the Golden Lotus in exchange for finding the loan sharks and convince them to forgive the debt, be it by winning the money and paying off the loan shark, or if more extreme methods are necessary. The third and final letter was to Mikado. Mikuru managed to track down all the loan sharks that loaned money to Tsunade and had greased them to forgive Tsunade's debt with them. There was however one loan shark who was bent on taking revenge by taking the money out of Tsunade's hide and was not swayed with money. Mikuru stealth killed him in his sleep, and went around his residence taking what he can use or want into sealing scrolls. Then, using his creation, the oil bombs, a special device that when detonated it laces anything in the blast zone with oil and uses them to prep the house for great fire annihilation. After the house was turned to ash along with all the evidence of the crime, he hurries and jumps back to Naruto. Any news from Tsunade? Mikuru asks. Yeah, we heard back on both letters, however there is a third one with Mikado-sama's handwriting and lipstick printed kiss, so I haven't opened it, and I kept Hirasenin away from it by placing it under a very powerful genjutsu so he doesn't see it. I wouldn't put it past the pervert to twist the words for one of his books. Naruto hands his uncle the letters, then went and sat in the corner contemplating how he was going to control Kurama's power. Just then Mikuru rockets out of the chair with the look that someone who wins the lottery. Then he looked at Naruto, a serious look about him. Naruto, get your things together and grab the pervert, we're heading to the hidden cloud. Got it. Naruto says seriously. Naruto grabs his gear, then seals it in his storage scroll. Then he goes out to find Jiraiya, which didn't take long when he tapped him on the shoulder and motioned for him to leave. Jiraiya looked like he wanted to protest, but Naruto gave him a glare that said, "Move or die." Jiraiya gave a heavy sigh, then put away his notepad, then gathered his things. Then he and Naruto started walking towards the edge of town, and they saw Mikuru waiting for them, whistling a happy tune. When he saw Jiraiya grow a lecherous grin, Mikuru looked at him with dark glare. Don't even think about it, pervert. If I find out you tried to peep on Mikoto-chan and I will make what Naruto and Tsunade, and what my brother and sister-in-law did look like child's play, Mikuru threatened. What did I do? You punched Jiraiya in your tailed beast state. It left quite the wound. I was actually scared that the pervert wouldn't make it. Well, anyway, let's head to the hidden cloud. The Land of Fire's port is a day's travel for civilian, but for us it should take about 4 hours, so let's get going. Jiraiya said. Then the three of them leap away and start heading towards the port. While they leap, Naruto still thought on how he lost control of his power and was determined to never again lose control. Naruto, Mikuru and Jiraiya walked into town. Then Naruto made the snake hand seal. Wood style. Wooden boat. Naruto used his power to form a huge boat. Then they bought supplies. Then Naruto was approached by a strange man. Hey kid, I heard you're headed to the Land of Lightning. You might want this mushroom. It's really great for the calm sea area between here and the Land of Lightning. Naruto, that mushroom is poisonous, don't trust him. Hashirama says. Right, sensei. Naruto responds. Sorry, but I don't trust you. Naruto activates his Mangekyo and sets the man on fire, and he drops the ground into ashes. Naruto then gathered up the ashes and threw them into the ocean. After a few minutes, Mikuru and Jiraiya returned and they all boarded the boat. Then they start setting sail, and after a few agonizing days of travel, and a stop in Kumo, they arrived at an island when suddenly a huge squid burst from the water and Naruto springs into action, activating his Mangekyo Sharingan and smacking it with his Susano when suddenly the fist of Gyuki slams it and it sinks beneath the waves. B. Naruto shouts out. "We. Naruto, it's been a while, seeing you again makes me smile." "Good to see you too, B." B transforms back into his human form and then lands on the boat. Then after a few minutes they arrive on the island and start walking around when suddenly a huge gorilla roared, standing on his hind legs, pounding his chest. Everyone starts to charge, but B holds up his hand. "Hold on there, King, there is no need to panic, these guys are okay." "Whoa, talk about top of the food chain," Naruto says. "K." Kurama laughs. "He's still nothing against me, after all I've got more tails than old Gyuki. This is why Shukaku hates you. You think a tailed beast's power is based on his or her tails. So of the 9 of you, according to you, he's the weakest." "Yep," Kurama says matter-of-factly. "Well, there's no time like the present, let's get started training." B bumps fist with the gorilla. Then Naruto looks at B. "I assume you were told why we're here?" "Yeah, you won't go through the training to take the Kyuubi's chakra without your control waning. That sums it up nicely," Naruto says. Then B holds out his fist to Naruto. "Bump fist with me and we'll see if you have what it takes to control the Kyuubi." Naruto bumps fist with B when he reels back in shock. "Whoa, what's going on? I feel some kind of spark of both light and dark." "That's probably Madara-sensei and Hashirama-sensei. Their chakra is in tune with mine. It's thanks to them I've gotten this far, but I guess will alone isn't enough in learning to control a tailed beast. Well, let's see how far you can go before the raid goes out of control." "Yo! I can already answer that, 3 tails. 3 tails on your own, but something tells me that the 4th tail was crazy, at least that's what I got based on your tone." "Yeah, the 4th tail caused me to go into a crazy rage and I nearly killed Urasenin here." "Urasenin?" B asked, all manner of his rapping forgotten. "Yeah, Jiraiya here writes the Icha books." Mikuru points at Jiraiya. "Oh yeah, I've heard of that series. I'm a secret fan, but don't tell my brother because he'd kill me, man." "Oh joy, another pervert." Mikuru thinks, face palming. "Don't worry, I'll get you the next issue, limited edition and signed." Jiraiya smiles proudly. "Oh great," Naruto says sarcastically. "Another closet pervert. I actually don't approve of his research methods, as Yugito caught him once and it didn't end well." "Oh yeah, that was bad," Jiraiya says as he remembers how an angry two-tailed Yugito ran after him. Naruto turned a dark look on Jiraiya, who was sweating up a storm. "Was this before or after the Chunin exams?" Naruto says in a deadly cold voice. Why? Your answer will determine your fate." "Before." Naruto drops his stance. "Good, you get to see tomorrow." Right." A few minutes Naruto and the others had arrived at a flowing waterfall. B-san, what's this place?" "It's the Waterfall of Truth. Here if you meditate in the center you will face your true self, and once you conquer the hatred inside of you, then you can move on to the hatred inside of the Kyuubi. Kurama's a nice guy when you get to know him." "He knows Kurama's name," Gyuki said, shocked. "Hey, it occurred to me I've never asked you your name, Hichibi." "Gyuki, it's Gyuki and we all have names, but I never knew that Kurama would associate himself with his host. Something happened but I don't know what, but I will find out." "Yeah, it's an honor me to know you, Gyuki." "So what do I do here exactly?" Naruto asks, bringing out B out of his conversation. "You sit down and focus, then your inner darkness will appear. You got to beat him before you can move on to the Kyuubi," B said without a hint of a rap. "Right." Naruto leaps up and lands on the grass in the center of the water pool, then sat down and focused. "You think you can cleanse this world of darkness when you can't even do that to yourself?" a dark voice said, and when Naruto opened his eyes he saw himself standing there, but Naruto wasn't fooled. He looked at his dark self, then he gets up and reaches for his gun. "Bye. I can cleanse this world and you are merely a hindrance in that quest. You can't hide anything from me." Dark Naruto says, laughing. "I bet I can." Naruto then charges and Dark Naruto followed, and they clashed again and again. When Naruto threw a punch, Dark Naruto grabbed his fist, then threw his one, but Naruto grabbed his other arm. "I told you there is nothing you can hide from, Gyu." Dark Naruto spat out blood as Naruto kneed him in the gut with all his might. "I stand corrected. I'm not the #1 hyperactive unpredictable ninja for nothing." Then Naruto casts a genjutsu on Dark Naruto and then start clashing again, but Naruto leapt back and started weaving hand signs. Fire style, fireball jutsu, Naruto spat out a huge fireball, but Dark Naruto responded by spitting out a wave of water. Water style, water wall. Just as the steam from the collision cleared, a huge naivety of trees rocketed towards, and when Dark Naruto saw his light counterpart, he had markings around and under his eyes as well as one in the middle of his forehead reminiscent of a third eye. Oh well, fuck, then I'll do the same. But suddenly more wooden attacks keep him from gathering the chakra, then he makes a hand sign. Fire style, great fire annihilation. The wood was burned to the crisp. Naruto and Dark Naruto kept clashing for several minutes, then Naruto swung his gun by, but Dark Naruto grabs the gun by, stopping the attack. I told you it's useless. Just then a lightning-covered hand run the dark. Naruto. Light, lightning, blade, boo, but, how? I never sensed your approach. You're not friends with Kurama and you were so focused on me you couldn't tell the difference between me and a genjutsu. As for the lightning blade, I saw Kakashi-sensei use it and analyzed it with my Rinnegan, Naruto said. Though I should really figure out a way around that. Oh, but I did know, however it was a rather clever strategy, however this won't stop me. Then Naruto made 3 very distinct hand signs which Dark Naruto copied, but Naruto smirked, then he thrust his dark chakra-covered hand at Dark Naruto, but he dodged and struck Naruto in the heart. See, even your most powerful attack I can turn against you. Just then Dark Naruto starts coughing up blood. What if I wanted you to turn it against me? What if that was my Yami style, darkness removal? You, really, are, unpredictable. Dark Naruto said as he faded into nothingness. Naruto opened his eyes and looked at Mikuru, Jiraiya, and B. That was easy. You conquered your inner darkness, but how? Jiraiya asked. I tricked him into using darkness removal, but before that it was a battle of wits in which I won. Yo Naruto, you've done well, but now we're going to through hell, B said with an evil smirk. If it will teach me to better understand Kurama and his power, then I'll do whatever need to be done. Naruto says with determination. Right now follow me behind the waterfall and you will see the true reason why this place exists. The 4 of them walk behind the waterfall and they see a huge ruin, but suddenly Naruto feels the natural energy that was surrounding the place vanish and replaced by nothingness. What the heck, why can't I sense anything? This waterfall cuts you off from the rest of the world, that's how this place works, fool, ya fool. Good to know. I wonder how Naruto will try to control Kurama's power. Madara says to Hashirama. All I know is neither of us can help, but it's gonna be fun. Hashirama responds. A few minutes later they start seeing a row of headless statues. What is going on? What's with all the headless statues? That will be revealed in time. After a small walk they reached a small demon figure with 6 Mangatamas. I have a bad feeling about this. Naruto says. Here you will learn to control the QB, but you must be pure or this will all end badly. What do you mean? If there is even a shred of darkness in your heart, this guy, I'll cut your head off and then it's bye. Bye. The statues you saw were Jinchuriki who weren't sincere. Oh fuck. Madara, Hashirama, Mikuru and Jiraiya thought. Well, let's get this over with. Naruto stuck his head in the statue mouth, then he saw a switch at the back and pressed it, but then leapt back, his head hidden with the genjutsu. Naruto, Jiraiya shouted in fear. Oh shit, we're dead, Mikuru said, but then he sensed the genjutsu. Just kidding, Naruto said laughing, and he dispelled the genjutsu. Sorry, force of habit. Despite Mikuru holding his laughter down, he had to administer a light smack to the back of Naruto's head. Yeah, I did the same thing out of habit, B said. Those statues you saw earlier are just broken, it's just some wit. Anyway, let's get started. A section of the wall opened up, revealing a rainbow-colored room, and the 4 of them walked in, and then B looked at Naruto. Naruto, what's the seal that was used on the Kyuubi? An 8 tetragram seal. Naruto responds, all joking aside. A tetragram seal, huh, that's impressive, it's even more solid than my steel shell seal. Yeah, Dad had his way with sealing jutsu. Do you have the key? Yes. So you're going to undo the seal? Jiraiya asked, slightly scared. It's okay, Kurama's my friend, but I don't think he'll take it easy on me. I won't. Kurama responded. Here's what you do, sit still on the ground, focus, then meet Kurama in your mind, then undo the seal, then grab his chakra with your chakra. Chakra can only be grabbed with chakra, makes sense, son? In theory, yeah, that makes sense. Naruto then sits down and B sits across from him, and they bump fists again, and Naruto focus, and after a few minutes he enters the forest of his mind and he sees Kurama sitting there, his tails waving lazily. Hey, you look bored. Yeah, I am, amuse me, human. Kurama says, bored. Naruto rolls up his armor and undershirt, revealing the seal. Things are going to get very interesting around here, trust me. Of that I have no doubt. Naruto rolls up his sleeve and the key design appears on his arm, then he twits the seal and the collar starts to unlock itself, and in a flash the collar breaks and Kurama charges Naruto, who jumps in the air and used his shape-shifting abilities to transform into a gigantic three-headed dragon with yellow scales and two long tails and gigantic wings in place of his arms. "Let's go, Kurama!" Naruto roared and his left head bit at Kurama and Kurama jumped back and Kurama swung his tail, but Naruto's right head grabbed the tail, then the other two fired beams of lightning from their mouths, then Naruto kicked but Kurama had jumped out of the way. So Naruto switched to a gigantic lizard with blue spikes and they unleashed a huge blast of energy at Kurama, who couldn't dodge. Naruto will be switching between Godzilla and his enemies between the fight, so I'll let your imagination choose which monster. Naruto and Kurama kept battling in beats forms, but eventually Kurama got tired of his host's shape-shifting and he charged up a tailed beast bomb, then fired it at Naruto, changing back into his normal form. Absorbed the chakra behind, then opened up his arm and fired a concentrated chakra blast at Kurama, who leaps out of the way to dodge. Just then octopus tentacles burst from the ground, immobilizing Kurama, but he smashes through them with ease. "You won't help, Kyuki. This is between me and the kid. I promise I won't interfere any longer. This is now between the two of you to see who's stronger." Just then Naruto starts gathering sage chakra and the toad markings appear and Naruto kicks Kurama in the face, sending him flying backwards. "Looks like my beast form isn't getting it done." Kurama shifts into his human form. Just then chains rocket up and bind Kurama in place. "This chakra, Kushina." "That's right, Kurama, it's me." Kushina walks forward, then notices Naruto isn't moving. "What are you waiting for, Tabane? I want this to be a fair fight between us. Kachan, release your chains, Kurama, and I want to see which of us is truly the stronger." You know. I met you 2 years ago when I was training for the Chunin exams. Then I guess you know who your father is?" "Yep, Minato was a hero though and through, but after I beat Kurama I want to ask you some things." "Fair enough, I'll release the chains." The chains then retracted themselves and Kurama charged Naruto and they engaged in several minutes of clashing. Then when Kurama was about to punch Naruto with all this strength, a skeletal rib cage appears and an ethereal fist grabs Kurama and then another hand grabs Kurama's other fist. Then Naruto tosses Kurama away and the blade of his Susano slices at Kurama, drawing blood. Kurama jumps back. "Dance," Naruto said, emulating Madara's voice. Then Naruto slams the fist into Kurama, sending him flying backwards. Then he held out his hand and the loud high-pitched noise of the Rasengan kicked up, and when it was complete Naruto hurled it at Kurama, who dodges only for Naruto's Yatsukama Gatama to slam into Kurama, blowing him up. Then Naruto grabbed Kurama's collapsed form and combining human and Petrapath he grabbed Kurama's chakra and Kurama stopped moving as pain rocket though out his body. Gra. Kurama growled in pain but resisted and tried to pull Naruto's chakra back from him. This tug of war lasted for several minutes. Neither could move from the pain, but when Kurama started getting the upper hand, Naruto knees him in the groin and tugs harder. "Cheap shot. I'm unpredictable, for a reason," Naruto growled back. Then Kurama looked into Naruto's eyes and he saw his Rinnegan flickering and spinning, then his eyes turned blood red and 3 Tomoe. Naruto notices the change in his vision but was in too much pain to give it too much thought. With one final roar of pain, Naruto tugged with all his might and Kurama's chakra was pulled loose and he dragged into himself. Then Naruto was bathed in bright yellow light and his Haroi turns yellow and Naruto's Sharingan glow with an even stronger red than usual. "You did it," Kushina shouted in glee. "Told you I could, I'm strong like my mother and father," Naruto said. Then he placed a hand on Kurama's shoulder and made a single-handed hand sign and the collar appeared again, binding Kurama behind the seal once more. "Well done, kid, you've gained my incredible chakra and it's yours to command. Now you need to learn to focus and control my power, and trust me, that won't be easy." "Right. Now what is it you wanted to ask me, Naruto-kun?" Kushina asked. "How did you and Dad fall in love?" "Well, you see, it was back when I first graduated from the academy. The next day I was kidnapped by Kuma for my unique chakra. While I was on the way to the border I left behind strands of my hair, but being an outsider I didn't expect anyone to rescue me. But just as we reached the border of the land of fire, Minato-kun knocked them out and took me back to the leaf. I used to hate my red hair, but after that day I loved it and I fell in love with your father. That's just like how I saved Hinata-chan from Kuma when I was 6. Ironic it seems Kumo has a hand in making the best couples." "Yeah, it does. By the way, I really like your hair. I got the long part of it in my DNA chain and I really like how it looks." "You're the second to compliment my hair, the first being Minato. You're quite the shinobi, Uzumaki-san," Madara said, walking forward. "You're Madara Uchiha. That I was sealed inside of your son shortly after Kurama here along with Hashirama in order to guide your son to the future." "Okay, Just then Kushina starts flickering and fading. My time is up Naruto-kun, but just know I love you. And with that Kushina's chakra fades into nothingness. Naruto starts crying. Madara wraps his arm around Naruto. It's alright Naruto, I know you love them, but I'm sure you'll see them both again on day. I know sensei. By the way, you've unlocked my Sharingan, now you can finally use the full power of the sage. He was able to switch between his son's eyes and the Rinnegan with ease. He looked for a way to combine the power but never could, but for now let's tell the others of your success. Hi sensei. Naruto closes his eyes, and then when he opened his eyes he was sitting on the floor. Mikaru and Jiraiya were looking at him. So how did you do? Mikaru asks. I did it, watch. Naruto channels the power of Kurama and enters his chakra mode, and then his eyes start spinning and he shows them his Sharingan. How? I don't know, but somehow I unlocked its power. Now I can switch between the Sharingan and Rinnegan, but the way to gain true mastery is to gain power to control yin-yang release, but how I do that is beyond me. We'll figure it out in time, but for now let's focus on controlling the power of Kurama. Right. Naruto had been training like hell with Kurama, Gyuki and over his training he finally managed to master both chakra mode transformation and host transformation. It took him a long time, but eventually he had them mastered. Over those 9 months Mikaru learned from his 7-sword style, and he also learned that he could manipulate the metal of his bone plate in a similar way to the Kaguya clan, and after Naruto summoned Kimimaro, Mikaru started learning the power of the Kaguya. Naruto bonded his chakra with Kurama, increasing their power 20-fold. Naruto trained in his Sharingan as well, and after 4.5 months he had mastered both of Kurama's transformations, and he called upon Kami to teach him better control of yin-yang release, and then after all that training Naruto finally mastered yin-yang release. And on that day his chakra started fluctuating like crazy, and then he collapsed, and then his chakra exploded with power and started changing from blue to moonlight silver and heartfire gold, swirling continuously in an eternal dance. Father. Kurama and Gyuki said, shocked at the power that Naruto was unleashing and nostalgia at feeling that gold and silver chakra again. Such power, this chakra is incredible, Naruto said in awe at his power, and he watched with his Sharingan swirling. Then he deactivated his eyes and they returned to his natural blue. So it's happened, your yin chakra has finally balanced out and you've unlocked the true power of the Rikudo Senin. But how did this happen? After lessons with Kami-chan your power of yin-yang chakra improved dramatically, and when those lessons were complete the chakra balanced out, resulting in the chakra you have now. Oh thanks Kurama, now I'm going to bed. Naruto closes his eyes and falls asleep. The next morning Naruto was standing in front of Mikaru, who told him he wanted him to master. What do you want to teach me, uncle? I wish to teach you a new Rasengan, more Rasengans. That's right Naruto, I've seen your supernova Rasengan in action. But I must ask you, have you ever tried all the elements together? Naruto said with a pause. No I haven't, but a great idea nonetheless. Naruto says, powering up to Kurama chakra mode. Soulless shadow clone jutsu. As Naruto said those words Madara and Hashirama appeared. Naruto then started swirling his hand in 2 chakra hands, and they started swirling, and it became very difficult to see Naruto and company clearly through the chakra maelstrom he was unleashing. Okay Naruto, to test the jutsu, we smash that Rasengan of yours with my metal style Rasen Senbone. And what about you? Just do it. I'll be fine. Okay if you say so. As a brief standoff they charge. Then their Rasengans made contact. A big explosion sounded. Mikaru's chakra suddenly reacted to Naruto's chakra, resulted in the near disintegration of Mikaru's right arm. As Mikaru gazes his regenerating arm he remembers something his brother told him when they first mastered the Rasengan together. Flashback. When similar chakra natures resonate and merge with each other they strengthen each other, and the end result the mightiest Rasengan are born, Minato says to him. End flashback. Uncle, are you alright? Naruto shouts out concerned. Said to the guy with a pretty nutty healing factor. Mikaru responds sarcastically. What happened? I didn't think my new Rasengan was that powerful. It was, but my arm in such a state wasn't the actual result. Since I'm a relation to you by blood and legal family, my chakra bore similarities to your chakra. My chakra strengthened your Rasengan. So what do you say we try that jutsu again, only this time I will supply the water change in nature as per target, Mikaru said, running through some hand signs. Metal style metal rampart. Then a 3-inch thick, 1 foot long and 3 feet high. We'll hit that, Mikaru said as they reformed the new Rasengan. Naruto hits the wall with the new Rasengan. An explosion enveloped the wall. As the dust settled they found the wall Mikaru made was reduced scrap. A suitable name for the new Rasengan, it shall be dubbed the Creator's Slate Rasengan, Naruto said thoughtfully. It actually has a nice ring to it because that Rasengan had reduced that wall to rubble, which is usually a poetic sign of starting over and creating a new slate. Madara said. Although without Kurama's chakra mode our new jutsu practically demands the use of shadow clones, Hashirama said. That could be a serious downside, but once completed it will make a very devastating attack. You can say that again. Madara laughs. Naruto spent the last year perfecting the creator's slate Rasengan until he had it down to a point where he could do it without Kurama's chakra mode, but it consumed an enormous amount of chakra, so Naruto decided to save that jutsu for an absolute last resort. On Naruto's last day of training, Naruto prepared to Hirashin back Hidden Leaf Village, but he bumped fists with B. Thanks Killer B. Naruto, if you ever want to train again you can call on me, the Might Killer B. I really wish he'd stop rapping. Naruto says, sweat dropping. Yuki has to put up with this, I almost feel sorry for him. Well, it's been fun B, thanks for all your help. Naruto then looks at his uncle and godfather. Let's go. Right. Jiraiya nods, then Naruto grabs Jiraiya and then he Hirashins back to the Leaf Village and they reappear in the Hokage's office and they see Tsunade sitting there with 3 clones helping her with paperwork. I'm back Bachan. Naruto says, gaining her attention. Naruto, you're back. Tsunade says, shocked, then she gets a serious look on her face. Report. The training trip was a complete success. Naruto has gained unimaginable power over this trip, Mikuru said as he stepped forward. How strong is Naruto now? Tsunade looked at Jiraiya. How do I put this lightly, Jiraiya said, stroking his chin. He would make what Hanzo did or Orochimaru, you and I look like child's play. There was a moment of shocked silence, then Tsunade started laughing, but when no one laughed with her she stopped. Why, you're serious? Deadly. In an effort to test his power we pitted Hashirama, Madara, Mikuru and myself, using Sage Mode, against him and he handed us our asses without breaking a sweat. He didn't even use his Kurama's power. As of right now I'm sure that he could take on the entire Akatsuki at once and absolutely slaughter them. He beat Madara and Gigi. Tsunade's eyes bulged in her skull. What are we, chopped liver? Mikuru asked, slightly annoyed. I didn't mean it like that, I'm just surprised that 2 of the most powerful shinobi in history working together couldn't take down Naruto. According to the Hichibi and Kurama he emulates the same chakra as the Rikudo Sennin, Jiraiya said. And that's not all I can do, Naruto said, activating the Sharingan which glows a deep blood red, his eyes spinning. That's the Sharingan, I thought you only had the Rinnegan. My ocular prowess enhanced itself during my battle with Kurama and now I can deactivate my eyes and finally practice without it. Well, why don't you head back home, I'll talk to the pervert, here you go and enjoy yourself. Yes Hokage-sama. Naruto and Mikuru said simultaneously, then they bowed and left. Naruto sensed the Konoha 11 in the Akimichi barbecue and he looked at his uncle. I want to go see my friends there in the Akimichi barbecue. If you want to go see me kiddo, I won't stop you, Naruto said, and Mikuru blushed a deep red. Well, I'm sure you want to see your girlfriends too. Mikuru counters, and this time it was Naruto's turn to blush. Shut up, Naruto said, then they went their separate ways. Then Naruto walks and Madara's gun by on his back. Naruto-kun. Hinata, Haku and Dino said, running forward and glomping their boyfriend. It's good to see you 2 girls. Naruto said, kissing each of them. Then he sat down with his friends. Naruto orders some food and starts recounting his adventures over his training trip and laughing at their jokes and the antics of their interactions. It's good to be home. 2 cloaked figures were walking across the vast expanse of the desert. One was blonde and tall, the other was hunched over. Both were wearing the black cloaks with red clouds. Are you sure you have enough clay with you? After all, our target is the host of the One-Tail Shukaku. The hunched man said in a gruff voice to his partner. Don't worry Sasori my man, I've got more than enough, my art will win out. Your art is nothing more than childish fireworks. Sasori growls back, irritated. True art is a thing of eternal beauty that will last forever. Deidara jumps into the air to avoid the tendrils of sand that rocket after him. After several minutes Gaara gets annoyed that he still hasn't captured Deidara, then he jumps into the air and sand gathers under his feet and he rides the cloud and flies up to Deidara level. You noticed me rather quickly. Those types of birds don't exist in the desert. So I see. Gaara then makes 2 hand signs. Wind style, great windstorm devastation. Gaara exhales a huge blast of wind that blasts Deidara off his bird, but it swoops down to catch him. Then Gaara raises his hands and the sand from the entire village raises up and starts forming a huge cloud of sand. Great, he's got the type advantage here, well shit. That's it, Gaara, kill him. Then kill the Uzumaki kid, then kill everyone, kill them all. Kill. Shukaku-say. If you wanted to go to Konoha and get your ass killed, be my guest, but if you wanted to kill them, help me kill this guy, or I swear to Kami-sama above, I'll have you locked up. You'll be nothing more than a chakra battery to me, and you won't be able to hide even your most personal thoughts from me. I'll know everything you know, and I'll blare sunshine lollipops 24/7. Gaara snaps back. I'll be good. Gaara then commands the sand to grab Deidara, which it does. Then it encase him in sand, but just as Gaara is about finish it, Deidara makes a hand sign and the clay bird he was riding explodes and Deidara fall free, but the sand chases after him, but Deidara keeps avoiding the clumps of sand. However, eventually Gaara's sand manages to grab Deidara's arm and it creeps up the arm. Then Gaara makes a crushing fist and calls out, "Sand burial." Deidara's arm gets crushed, but more sand rockets after him for the killing blow, but Deidara continues to dodge as he molds a gigantic clay sculpture. Well, I'll just have to destroy his whole village then. Deidara starts flying up as he continues to molding a gigantic bird-like creature with its wings folded. Then when he finished, he looked at the hole in Gaara's sphere, then the shifting sand rockets after him. According to our information, he only carries a fixed amount sand in that gourd. So that sand must already be infused with a large amount of chakra, in other words special sand. He normally uses that sand for defense, but he can instantly change for attacking. What did they call it? Just then a clump of sand rockets up and Deidara dodges the fast-moving sand. Oh, now I remember, they called it his ultimate defense. Deidara plunges his hand into his pocket and to his dismay he felt only a small amount of clay. I only have a small amount of clay left. I seriously underestimated him, just like Master Sasori said, I only have enough for one more pursuit in my specialty. Deidara holds the bird in his hand, then he gives Gaara a dark look. Guess I'm blowing up the whole village. Then Deidara notices a bunch of shinobi leaping from below. Outside interference is going to kill all the fun. Besides, I'm sick of looking at that impassive look on your face. Deidara throws the clay explosive, then he makes a hand sign and it expands into a gigantic explosive. Gaara looks at the thing with shock on his face, then it starts falling towards the village. I make exploding dolls by eating clay with my hands and combining it with my chakra. My specialty contains my highest level of chakra, C3. Its explosive power is my highest level of art. Deidara makes a hand sign and the doll explodes in a huge blast that encompasses a large chunk of the village. However, when the cloud of smoke clears, Deidara sees a huge wall of hardened sand that protected the village from the explosion. When he looked up at Gaara, he sees he is breathing heavily and sweating like crazy. Okay, you within. Just then a small explosive bird appears right next to Gaara. Katsu. Then the bird explodes, but when the dust settles, the ball of sand is completely closed off and it reveals that Gaara is completely uninjured. Just then Deidara smiles darkly. Nicely blocked, however, that's just what I want. Gaara looks up and sees small clay ants tunneling onto his section. Shit. Gaara cursed art is. Shit. An explosion. No. The inside of the ball explodes, then it starts leaking sand and Deidara smiles and the shell cracks and starts falling apart. If I said of an explosion in close range, you'd use that gourd sand you used to crush my arm so quickly to guard yourself. That was also my last bomb. In order to get close enough, I had to create an opening. That's why I dropped my specialty on the village. The sand dissolves around Gaara and he's revealed. Guess I should fetch him, Then Deidara gets in closer and Gaara stirs and makes a single hand sign to move the huge cloud of sand away from the village. As expected of the Kazakage. Just then a barrage of arrows went flying at Deidara and he avoided them all. Then when Gaara moves the sand out of the village, he collapses into unconsciousness. Then he starts falling and Kankuro runs toward the falling Gaara, but Deidara catches him and Madara starts flying out of the village. Mission accomplished. Baki instantly ran towards the Kazakage office and wrote a letter to Konoha asking for assistance. Kankuro ran after the fleeing Deidara. Kankuro, don't be so rash. We'll send a retrieval squad. A random jounin says as he and another jounin ran after them. Sasori was swinging Hiruko's tail irritatedly. Just then Deidara landed in front of him. You're late. I thought I told you not to keep me waiting, Sasori said, anger clear in his voice. He was stronger than I thought. This is why I told you to be prepared, but you didn't listen to me. Hey, don't blame me. Deidara retorted. Naruto woke up and saw his 3 girls sleeping next to him. He stretched out, careful not to wake any of them up. Then he leapt out of bed and he grabbed his armor and haori and tied on his headband, then walked down and grabbed his gunbai and inspected it with his Sharingan and saw it was as undamaged as always. I don't know why you bothered to check it. The metal is indestructible. Madara says, shaking his head. Force of habit, but I have noticed that it needs to be expanded to fit my new body type. So where did you guys get that metal? Somewhere in the land of iron. I think according to my father it takes a long time to find, but it was supposedly created by the Rikudo Sennin. Well, as his reincarnation I should be able to do the same. Naruto's eyes start expanding into his Rinnegan. Creation of all things. A lump of ore landed next to Naruto, then he picked up a section of it and started expanding the weapon in all aspects, and once it was modified to a point where he could wield it with comfort, he shouldered the weapon and walked outside when suddenly he walked into Sakura standing there. "And Naruto," Sakura said, shocked. "Sakura, what is going on? Why are you here?" "Tsunade-sama has assigned us a mission. She received word that the Kazakage has been kidnapped." "Kidnapped? By who?" Naruto says, his Sharingan spinning. "That's the Sharingan. How does Naruto have the Sharingan?" Sakura thinks, shocked. "He was kidnapped by a blonde man with an Iwa headband and he had a black cloak and red clouds." "The Akatsuki. Sakura, when do we leave for the hidden sand?" "Immediately. I just came to fetch you and then we'd be leaving." "Right." Naruto runs back in the house and scribbles a quick note to Hinata, Haku, and Ino. Then he ran back outside and then he and Sakura ran off towards the front gate and found Kakashi waiting for them. "Ready?" Kakashi asks. "Yeah." Sakura responds and Naruto nods. "So let's go." "Right." Naruto responds. Then they all run off at top speeds. After several hours of leaping through the forest, they arrive in a small town and, to their shock, they see Temari just about to leave town in order to make her way back to the hidden sand. "Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi-san, what are you all doing here? Didn't you hear Gaara's been kidnapped by the Akatsuki?" "What?" Temari says, "Yes. Gaara's been kidnapped. It will take us 2 days to reach the hidden sand. Let's move." Kakashi says. "Right, let's go." They all leap off and keep traveling. After a while they notice the sun go down and then it set, and after a while of traveling they set up camp and they all lay down for the night. "Naruto, you've been traveling it even faster than the rest of us. What is going on?" "Gaara and I are the same. We've both suffered at the hand of the village we grew up in. We suffered. And now we're being hunted down by the same organization. He doesn't have the same link with Shukaku as I do with Kurama, so I have to rescue him and I will." Naruto starts glowing yellow and he enters his chakra mode and rockets off, leaving a trail of yellow behind him. "Naruto, oh wait," Sakura shouted after him. "He moves faster than Sensei." Kakashi thinks, shocked. They double their speed in order to try and keep up with him, but in the end Naruto was too fast. After a while they see Naruto start slowing down, then he stops, his chakra still glowing and influencing the world around him. The tree started growing and expanding from the influence of Naruto's chakra. "Such power is this, the power of the Kyuubi?" Sakura thinks, shocked. Naruto deactivates Kurama's power and Naruto turns to them, his Sharingan spinning. "Naruto, what is that power you're using?" Temari asks. "Kurama's power. I am a perfect Jinchuriki like Killer Bee." Naruto responds. "We should settle down for the night. We need to keep our strength." Kakashi says. "You can keep resting, but I'm fine." "Naruto, I know you're worried about Gaara, but we need to rest. We've cut our time because of your foolishness, but we need rest." "Fine, but if you take too long I can guarantee I won't leave you behind." Naruto sits down and meditates, waiting for morning. "We're here," Sasori said with his usual growling voice. "Yeah, I wager that Leader Sama will be pissed because you took too long," Deidara said. "I could say the same to you." "Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just as much to blame." Deidara laughed. Then he and Sasori jumped down and Deidara made a hand sign and the rock that was blocking the entranceway opened up and they walked in, followed by the bird that kidnapped Gaara. They were greeted by a holographic figure with the Rinnegan. "You're late," the figure said. "The Jinchuriki was stronger than we anticipated." Deidara responded. Then the bird placed Gaara down on the ground and vanished. The holographic figure stared, making hand signs, then he slammed his palm on the ground and the upper body of the ghetto statue appeared with cuffs around its hand. Then the figure made a hand sign. "Assemble." Then 6 holographic figures appeared on 6 of the 10 fingers. Then Deidara jumped on his finger and Sasori jumped on his. Then the holographic figure disappeared and reappeared on his finger. Then he made a hand sign and the metal gag that was in the statue's mouth unhinged and fell out. "It will now take 3 days and nights. Everyone be careful with the body and I want Zetsu to keep a watch outside. Use your longest range." "Understood," Zetsu responded. 3 days, couldn't it take longer now that Orochimaru isn't with us?" Kisame asked. "If that's how you really feel then we should get started right away." The figure responds. "Yeah," Itachi said. "Guess it can't be helped," Kisame said. "Let's get this show on the road," Deidara said. Then each figure made a hand sign and the statue's fingers started glowing with symbols that represented each Akatsuki member. Then the mouth of the statue started glowing and 9 dragons became visible in its mouth. Sealing Jutsu, 9 phantom dragons. The figure said, and then 9 dragons launched themselves at Gaara and then the ground exploded in a cloud of dust. Tsunade was staring out the window when Shizune walked in. "You called for me, Tsunade-sama?" Shizune asks. "Yes, I'm sending reinforcements to the Hidden Sand Village. I've got a very bad feeling." Tsunade responded. "Yes, Tsunade-sama." Shizune left the room, then suddenly there was a tapping on the window and Tsunade saw a small bird with the Uchiha clan symbol on its back. Sasuke's monthly report. I was wondering when it was going to arrive. Tsunade opened the window and the bird flew in and landed on the desk. Just then an Anbu walked in. "Get me Mikoto, I need her for something." "Yes ma'am." The Anbu bows and runs out. A few minutes later Mikoto walks in with an air of impatience. "You called for me, Tsunade-sama?" Mikoto asks. "Yes, the report from your son just came in." "Let me see." Mikoto rushed over to the paper, activating her Sharingan and writing down what she sees. "Tsunade-sama. Orochimaru has been growing impatient and my power has been growing exponentially. I estimate he will attempt the body transfer ritual in the next few months. I have been biding my time waiting for the opportunity to strike, but Kabuto has grown suspicious of me. I fear I will have to act sooner than expected. Your orders? P.S. And this is for mom only. I've fallen for a very pretty girl. Her name is Karen. She is red hair and a fierce temper. Is she a Uzumaki? If so, please let Naruto know I have found a living member of his clan, and since he's clan head and technically her elder, ask him if have his blessing to date her. This officially ends my report. Please burn this and any copies made immediately. Sasuke Uchiha. When Mikoto read the PS from her son, she blushed and started squealing with happiness. "What is it, Mikoto?" Tsunade asks. "My baby is growing up." Mikoto responded, crying. "Well, that's good for you, but what does he say?" "I wrote it down here." Mikoto hands Tsunade the copy she made and Tsunade read it over. "This is bad. If what Sasuke said is true, then he will have to move forward sooner than expected, but we must be careful. Orochimaru is a slippery bastard. Mikoto, I need you to write him back telling him to strike at the nearest opportunity." "Yes, Tsunade-sama." Mikoto starts writing a letter back to her son with the same ink that he sent it in. Then she attached it to the bird and sent it off after her son. Just then Shizune walked in. "Tsunade-sama, the team that you requested has arrived." "Excellent, send them in." "Yes, Tsunade-sama." Just then the door opened, then Guy and his team walked in. Neji was holding Tenten's hand. "You called for us, Tsunade-sama?" Guy asks. "Yes, I'm sending your team as backup to Team 7 in the Hidden Sand Village." Tsunade responds, "Yes, Tsunade-sama, we will get started right away." Guy and his team leave, and when they arrive at the front gate, Guy looks at his team. "Alright team, we're going to use our springtime of youth dash to get to Suna in 1 day." "I say we can get there in half a day." Lee responds. "It will take 3 days no matter how much you push yourself." Neji says, shaking his head. "Neji-kun is right." Tenten says. "Besides, you'll just end up tiring yourselves out." "Forget it, Tenten-chan, in the end they won't listen to a word that we say." "I guess you're right." Naruto, Kakashi, Temari and Sakura were running down the street as a Sanjan briefed them on what has happened. "What?" Temari said, shocked. "Yes, Kankuro went after Kazakage-sama but was greatly injured and is now in critical condition. There is nothing that anyone can do for him." "Let me take a look, I'm a medical specialist," Sakura says. "And if worse comes to worse, I will use my ocular prowess to heal him." Naruto says, his eyes spinning. When they arrive at hospital, Sakura and Temari run in, but then Chio looks at Kakashi and with shock and recognition which quickly turns to anger and fury, and she charged Kakashi. The white fang of the leaf. Chio cries out in rage. A mighty push. Naruto shouts out and blasts Chio aside, his eyes in their Rinnegan state. "You try and hurt Kakashi-sensei and you will die to Bane." Those eyes, Chio said, all anger forgotten. "Yes, I have the Rinnegan. I swear every time I use my power people start panicking." "But if you have the Rinnegan, they you are." "I am Naruto Uzumaki, the man who defeated the Shukaku and Konoha's red and a black flash." Chio's eyes widen in shock. "You are the one who stopped the invasion of the Hidden Leaf?" "It was the combined efforts of Konoha's shinobi. I just stopped the one tail." Just then Kankuro started screaming in pain. Sakura started barking orders to the medics while she took command of Kankuro's treatment. After a while, Sakura looked at everyone with glee on her face. "Kankuro's life is no longer in danger, but we have time to celebrate. I still need to concoct an antidote. I'll need to have access to all the Hidden Sand's medical herbs." "Yes ma'am," the Sand Ninja said, and she followed them out to the greenhouses. Nicely done, Sakura. Naruto smiles to himself. I believe this is a big I told you so moment, Madara. Hashirama says. Yes, I get it, she's a fucking medic, but I have yet to see her do anything useful for combat, and while medics have their uses on the battlefield, so until then I hold by my opinion. There is no reasoning with you. Hashirama throws his hands up in air. Just then Naruto looked at Kankuro, who had just regained consciousness. Kankuro, you've regained consciousness, can you name your attacker and tell us where they went? Naruto asks. My attacker was Sasori, of the Red Sands. Naruto's eyes widen in shock. Damn, that means that the one who captured Gaara was Deidara the Mad Bomber. Naruto thought, remembering what Itachi told him. You're lucky to be alive. According to an inside source, Sasori's poison is unique, never seen before. First it numbs, then destroys the heart muscles. You have an insider in the Akatsuki. Tamari says, shocked. No, Jiraiya does, but that isn't important. What is important is, do you know where they went? WWR, puppets, recovered? Kankuro asks. Yes. Baki responds. In Crow's hand, there is a cloth from Sasori's mask. Naruto walks over to the puppet's hand and opens it and then hands it to Kakashi. Kakashi starts making hand signs and slams his palm on the ground, summoning his ninja dogs. Yo! Pakun says. Pakun. Naruto says, surprised. It's been a while. Naruto, it's been a while, Pakun said, smiling. Enough pleasantries, Pakun, I need to track the scent of the man from his mask. Gotcha. Pakun and the others start sniffing the cloth, and after they caught the scent they leapt off. Just then one of the sand messengers walked in and held up a note to Baki. It's for you, Baki said and handed to Kakashi, who read it over. Tsunade-sama has sent team guys back up. Kakashi says. Nice, let's get going. Naruto says, excited to work with Neji on a mission again. Wait, Naruto, we need to rest for the day, plus Sakura needs to make an antidote to the poison in Kankuro. Alright. Naruto says, and then they all head off to the beds Baki had provided for them. Back at the Hidden Leaf Village, dusk. Hinata, Ino, and Haku were gathered by Makeru to a site beneath the fourth Hokage's head. I'm about to show you my home. The girls look around. Where as the moon rose they spotted a strange design that was illuminated by the moon. Here, he says, tapping the center of the design, then doors open which was flush to the mountainside, revealing a staircase which goes down into the mountain. They were lead down into the mountain, then a large compound appears before them. They were lead to a section of the compound where Makeru instructs them to stay. As they waited they observed Hiraishi and kunai throughout the room. Then Makeru came back in his formal wear, which was a grey top and black bottom hakama with an ocean blue haori coat. Well ladies, how do I look? Makeru says, displaying his formal wear. Awesome, Mikado will love you in that, although a rather curious haori coat. Long story short, since I'm lightly pressed for time, the Namikaze clan were pretty good in the art of sailing since the founding generation bore no illusions that solitaire would no longer be needed, so we mixed sailing into our everyday lives. But the rest of that story is for another day. Alright, I got to run my checklist, Makeru says quietly to myself. So clothes on my back, check. Wallet, check. Contents of wallet, check. Auxiliary change in clothes for me, check. Alternate change of clothes for Mikado, check. Emergency ninja tools, check. A kick in the pants. Hinata, flanked by Haku and Ino, simply shoves his uncle out the door with their feet. Check. Okay ladies, the northeast side of the compound is full of guest rooms, perfect for a little bochica wow wow with your man. Makeru said suggestively with a pelvic thrust. Makeru goes up the stairs to the outside, leaving some flustered ladies in his wake. Later at the Uchiha compound, oh yeah. Breath, Makeru says as he sprays water laced with mint into his mouth. Check as Makeru knocks on the door. Who is it? It is Makeru, here to pick you up. I'll be out in a minute. No hurry, I'm actually a little, that being 4:30 don't hurt anything either. I guess not. After 15 more minutes of waiting, Mikado came out. Well, how do I look? Mikado was wearing a blue kimono with a red sash tied around her waist and an orchid in her hair with a small headpiece with the Uchiha clan symbol on it. I dare say like one of Kami's angels fresh out of heaven. Mikado blushed a deep scarlet. Well, you're quite handsome yourself. Well, I got everything I need. How about you? Yeah, I'm all set. Very good, then let's us be off, Makeru said with his right arm out. Let's, Mikado said, lacing her left arm around Makeru's, letting him bring her close. Naruto, Sakura and Kakashi were all ready to head out towards where Pakun had pointed out the hideout location. Just as they were about to leave, a sand team arrived to go with them, but then Baki appeared and told them they had orders from above to stay and guard the village. Tamari protested, but then Chio arrived and said she was going with them, and then they ran off, and after a while they entered the land of rivers. Naruto, Sakura said, gaining his attention. Yeah? Naruto asks. How long has the Akatsuki been after you? 3 years or more, but they had to stop and that was their greatest mistake. Now I have reached the level of the Sage of the Six Paths. Now the Akatsuki will have to face that power in a fight they can't hope to win. Why would they wait 3 years? I assume they couldn't because Naruto was with Jiraiya-sama. Kakashi said no, the information I have has stated a different reason. Chio responds, a different reason? Sakura asks. It takes a lot of preparation time to pull out a bijou once it's been sealed into a person, that's why they were delayed. What's a bijou? You're Tsunade's apprentice and you don't even know, and even the fact that Konoha has the Kyuubi. In Konoha everything regarding the Kyuubi is top secret. Kakashi says. I guess it would be. The bijou are tailed beasts with unimaginable power and different characteristics based on the number of tails it has. The hidden sand has had Shukaku the Ichibi for some time, which is sealed inside Gaara. Ichibi? Sakura asks. Do you mean that there is more than just the Kyuubi? Yes, there are 9 of them in total. The Ichibi has 1 tail, the Nibi has 2 tails all the way up to the Kyuubi, each one has a name based on the number of tails it has. During the Great Ninja Wars, each nation's hidden village tried to obtain them, hoping to turn them into weapons. But their power is beyond human control and understanding. I don't know why the Akatsuki want their power, but it's far too dangerous. The Jubi? Naruto says. Jubi? Yes, the Jubi is the collection of all 9-tailed beasts. They hope to revive it, but I'm sure that this is only known in the higher-ups. Why? You mean the legendary beast that dates back to the time of the Sage of the Six Paths? Yes, and I can assure you it's no legend, it's real. My eyes are proof enough. Naruto activates his Rinnegan. During the sealing everyone was quiet, but eventually Zetsu spoke up. There are enemies nearing the base. Enemies? Deidara asks. Yes, and they are very powerful. One of them is called Might Guy. Who is that? Pain asks. He's a Konoha Jounin who uses taijutsu, do not underestimate him. The wild beast again, eh? Then we'll use that technique. Let me go. I've had a hell of a time finding my Jinchuriki and it's starting to piss me off. Hidan says. No, I'll go. I've got a bit of a score to settle with him. That's fine, the technique best suits you as you have the most chakra in all of the Akatsuki. Pain says. Indeed. Even so, I need 30% of your chakra here for the sealing. My, it looks like I can finally get even with him for kicking me. Team Guy and Pakun were running in the desert when Pakun starts sniffing. What's wrong? Guy asks. Someone is approaching. Pakun responds. Byakugan. Neji calls out, activating his dojutsu, and after a few minutes of searching Neji sees him. Behind us. Neji calls out and the team stops and looks behind them, and a bandage-wrapped sword came cutting though the ground towards them. Then Kisame burst out of the ground. Why you? Guy says. Do you know him, Guy-sensei? Lee asks. Who are you? 10 sweat drops. Neji looks at Kisame with his Byakugan. This guy has unbelievable chakra. The only other person I know who has this much chakra, and that's Naruto, but this guy's reserves are nothing compared to him. More. Zetsu says. It's getting rather noisy, Deidara. Pain scolds. Well, this one was stronger than the other two. Deidara says, trying to curb Pain's anger. I told you that your techniques were no good for stealth missions. Sasori says. As I recall, your traps were very loud and revealing, master. Why you? Quiet both you, I won't have infighting in the Akatsuki, just focus on the jutsu. Pain shouts. Who else is going? Can I go this time? Hidan asks. It's more Konoha Shinobi. Zetsu says. Then it's decided. Pain looks at Itachi. Kakashi and the others landed in a clearing and Naruto and Kakashi's eyes widened. Stop. Kakashi and Naruto both shouted and everyone came to a standstill as they saw Itachi standing there. Itachi, Uchiha. Naruto growls. It's been a long time, Naruto-kun, Kakashi-san. Naruto responds. Yeah, 3 years. So this is the brat who eliminated his clan. Chio says. Yeah, and he's dangerous, don't look into his eyes or you're done for. Kakashi says. It's been a while since I fought the Sharingan, but it's nothing too special. There are ways to fight a dojutsu. Yeah, that would work under normal circumstances, however Itachi has the Mangekyo Sharingan. This level can only be combated by 2 people on this earth. The first is myself, the second is Sasuke. Naruto is right, if you're trapped in Itachi's what is seconds in this world is days or hours for the one in the illusion. Dispelling it is impossible. I was trapped in that world for 3 days and lost consciousness for a week. Kakashi says. Hey Itachi, just how bad has your eyesight become? Itachi's eyes widen in shock. How? Itachi asks. I'm not known as a genius for nothing, Itachi. Naruto then charged Itachi and threw a kick which Itachi dodges, only for Naruto's Susano to come swinging in and slapping Itachi aside, but Itachi disappears in a flock of crows when suddenly Kurama taps Naruto on the head from his Mindscape. Wakey, wakey kid. Naruto's chakra flares and he sees Itachi clashing with Kakashi. Nice try Itachi, but genjutsu doesn't work on me. Oh, you broke though my genjutsu, guess I'll have to take it up a notch. Itachi says, interested in Naruto's power. As will I. Naruto then activates his Sharingan and it starts spinning to his eternal. Oh, I see you are taking me seriously now. Yeah, and now, shall we dance? Oh boy. Itachi thinks as Naruto draws his gun by. Naruto then charges and the tide of battle immediately changes. Where Itachi was able to hold his own, he now found himself in overwhelming disadvantage as Naruto excelled in Kenjutsu, or as he called it, dancing. Itachi jumped back and started weaving hand signs. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Itachi exhaled a huge blast of fire, but Naruto clapped his hands together. Water style, water wall. Naruto exhaled the blast of water and steam formed from the colliding attacks. Universal pull. Not this crap again. Itachi cried anime tears as he felt himself being pulled toward Naruto. Then Naruto hits Itachi with his Susano, then he jumps into the air and starts pounding Itachi, eventually thrust out his hand sending Itachi flying back. Drown in despair. This is the power of the Rikudo Sennin, divine power. You're certainly arrogant. Itachi says, struggling to his feet. It's not arrogance if you can back it up. Naruto forms a Rasengan in his hand and he charges Itachi, but Itachi jumps out of the way only for Naruto to vanish in puff of smoke, and then another Naruto charges in a gigantic Rasengan in his hands. Then he slams the gigantic Rasengan into Itachi. Shit. Itachi thinks as he's blasted back, but then he smiles and Naruto's eyes widen in shock. Then when the dust settles, Itachi's corpse lies in the ground, then it dissolves into the face of Yura from the hidden sand village. This is, Chio said in shock. Who the hell is this guy? I know it's not Itachi. For one, the hair is all wrong and he's not a prick, nether, plus I don't sense a disturbance in the force after I took Sasuke's revenge from him. Okay, Kakashi says as he sweat drops. Naruto, I think that Chio can answer the question. His name is Yura, he's a member of the Hidden Sands Shinobi Council. Please tell me that you don't have a civilian council. Naruto says no, we don't, in fact Konoha is the only village that does. Note to self. When I become Hokage, kill whoever came up with the civilian council. Then fire said civilian council. Naruto shakes his head. Why do you want to kill my brother? Hashirama asks, why did he come up with the civilian council? I don't know. Hashirama shrugs his shoulders. I told him that it was a bad idea, but does he ever listen to me? No. Hashirama complained. Anyway, we should get moving. Kakashi says. Right. Naruto says. Then the others take off towards where Pakun had pointed out the Akatsuki's base was. Guy looked at Kisame with shock. Who are you? Guy says. Are you saying that you don't really remember me? Don't tell me you're. Looks like you finally remembered. Have we met before? It seems the freakish beast's intelligence is at the level of beast. Well, I'll make you remember me soon. So this guy is a member of the Akatsuki. Neji says. He's one of the people after Naruto Ototo. Neji's look hardened, then Kisame laughed and threw Samada into the air and clapped his hand together. Water style. Explosive water shockwave. Here he comes. Guy says. Hi. Lee responds. Then Kisame vomits out a huge blast of water which forms a gigantic tidal wave and rockets toward the group. Here I come. Kisame grabbed the falling Samada. Neji and the others jump over the wave of water, dodging both the wave and Kisame. Then another wave rose up and it rocketed toward Neji and Lee. Lee, Neji-kun, look out. So how is it? Suddenly Guy gets another shocked look on his face. Does this remind you? Guy dodges another attack. How can he let out so much water? Tenten asks, shocked. This technique requires a huge amount of chakra. Neji responds. Just who is this guy? Lee asks. Just then another blast of water rockets towards them. Guy-sensei, Tenten. Just then Kisame appears, form the wave, and Guy responds with a devastating roundhouse kick, only for Kisame to disappear in a burst of water, and another Kisame raises up. Water clone. Guy says, shocked. Doesn't give you much time for a remembering, does it? Kisame says evilly, then he charges Guy swinging Samada, but Guy dodges, then Lee jumps up and shouts out. Konoha Rising Wind. What? Then Neji lands in front of Kisame. 8 trigrams air palm. Neji shouts and the blast of chakra sends Kisame flying back, then he grabs Samada and used it to stop himself, only for a ball of iron with spikes on to fly towards him which he blocks, then it blows up sending spikes everywhere. Kisame escapes underwater. Damn, he got away. Tenten cursed. After a few seconds she looks at Neji. Neji-kun, what's the enemy's location? He's going to surface right in front of us. And true to his word, Kisame rises up. Seriously, what troublesome brats. It's really a bother. Kisame says, then Guy gasps. Water style ninjutsu and that big sword. You are. Guy says, shocked, so you finally remembered who I am. I do feel like we've met somewhere before. Kisame facepalms. You know, you really are good at hurting people's feelings. Until you recall, I will take my time putting you through pain. Let's see. It's time for a counterattack. First, I'll get him off guard. If I succeed, don't hesitate to attack. Roger. Lee, Neji and Tenten respond. Do you really think you'll get me off guard that easily? Kisame taunts. I'll quickly change your mind. Kisame then charges and Guy follows suit. Then Guy jumps in the air to dodge Kisame's sword strike, and in a flash of speed Neji appears right in front of Kisame and thrust forward with a strike. Juken. Neji cries out, but Kisame blocks with Seimata, which absorbs the chakra behind his attack. Then Lee dives in with two wooden weapons, but Kisame swings Seimata and snaps them in half. I see you swing such a heavy sword with ease and you don't get caught off guard very easily. Lee says. If close combat won't work. Tenten opens a gigantic sealing scroll and throws bomb kunai at Kisame, which he blocks, and when they detonate Tenten smiles triumphantly, only for Kisame to emerge from the smoke unharmed. Did you do something? I wasn't paying attention. Kisame says, laughing. That is one annoying sword. Oh yay, that sword. Guy says, did you recall? Kisame asks, not really expecting anything. That's your weapon, isn't it? You could tell that just by looking at him. Neji says, mentally asking why he was cursed with such a moronic sensei. But there's a difference between knowing it and really knowing it. As always, Guy sensei's words are so insightful. Lee says with awe. Okay, before I lose any more brain cells, I'll speed this along. Tenten says. That sword is called Seimata. It is one of the 7 swords of the hidden mist. It is able to absorb huge amounts of chakra and transfer it to its master. You know quite a lot about this sword of mine. Where did you learn it all? Kisame asks, genuinely interested. I've always had a fascination with weapons, and when I was a little girl I read about the 7 swordsmen of the mist and I did some research into each blade. Is it true that Seimata is sentient? Okay little girl, I'll indulge you. Yes, my sword is sentient, and that's all I'm going to tell you. What do you think, I am one of those moronic villains who tells you everything just before the heroes beat the ever-loving snot out of him? No, that would be too predictable. Neji says jokingly. But now I will retract what I said before. It seems like your intelligence is less than an animal. Here we go. Dynamic action. Guy jumped into the air, which Kisame blocked, then he swung his sword, which Guy dodged, and then a blast of water shot up, and using the distraction, Guy throws a punch which Kisame blocks, and then Guy jumps up and using his legs steals Seimata, and he shouts out, now! And then Lee, Tenten and Neji jump in, only for Kisame to make hand signs and call out, Water Clone Jutsu. And 3 clones spring up and block their attacks. Then Kisame makes more hand signs. Water Prison Jutsu. And then Neji, Lee and Tenten, we locked into a water prison, all maintained by a clone. Neji, Lee, Tenten. Guy calls out. Then Guy charges and swings Seimata, only for spikes to appear on the hilt, forcing him to drop Seimata. These kids are better than I thought. I'm surprised. I can't move. Lee thinks. Damn. Neji curses. I can't breathe. Tenten struggles. As I said, Seimata is sentient and as such won't let anyone other than me wield it. I see it's not a good idea to carelessly use someone else's weapon, so in that case I will use mine. Guy takes out a set of nunchucks. Guy sensei's nunchucks. Tenten thinks, shocked. This means that. Lee continues. This is a very powerful opponent. Neji finishes. Guy starts spinning it around, then ends by holding both ends, causing a shockwave. Then Kisame charges Guy. Now shall we begin? Kisame shouts. Guy and Kisame start clashing, causing shockwaves to appear in the water. Then after a would-be devastating axe kick which Seimata grows spikes to stop, they rush to the side and Kisame makes a seal-less water clone, which Guy destroys. Then Kisame and Guy clash again and again until Kisame forces Guy back, and then he tosses Seimata up in the air and starts forming hand signs. Water style, Water Shark Bomb Jutsu. Then the chakra-infused shark charges Guy, which he blocks, only for Kisame to swing Seimata, which Guy blocks, only for him to be quickly overwhelmed. What incredible power! Guys widen in shock. I remember your... It's too late now. Kisame throws a devastating punch into Guy, which rockets him under the water. Guy sensei. Lee cries out. When Guy reaches the bottom he feels a stinging in his ribs and clutches it. This guy, I've definitely met him somewhere before. Guy thinks. Don't think I'm done settling the score just yet. Then he claps his hands together again. Water style, 5 hungry sharks. Kisame slams his palm on the surface of the water and 5 chakra sharks charge Guy. First meal. Guy swims up and dodges the first shark. Second meal. The second shark rockets down and the water pressure forces him backwards. Third meal. A third shark charges in and bites at Guy, but he punches the shark in the jaw only for it to heal. Not effective, huh? Fourth meal. The fourth shark charges in from behind and slams into Guy, causing him to spit up blood. Fifth meal. Then all the sharks charge Guy, slamming him into the ground, but he counters by incapacitating them by attacking them, but once again they start healing. My 5 sharks will devour you, leaving not even bones. Kisame says from the surface. I don't have a choice, I've got to use the gates. Guy thinks, then he takes his ready stance. First gate, gate of opening, release. Second gate, gate of rest. Third gate, gate of life, open. Fourth gate, gate of pain. Fifth gate of closing. The shockwave of chakra obliterates the sharks and cause water to explode outwards. What? Kisame says, shocked. Then the water erupts in pillars. What is that? Lee thinks, shocked. Incredible chakra that's being emulated beneath the water. Sixth gate, gate of joy. Open. Guy shouts out and even more water explodes and starts evaporating from the raw body heat and chakra that Guy was emulating. What is this? Kisame asks, shocked. Now. Neji thinks and he activates his Byakugan and drops into a Juken stance. 8 trigrams 64 bombs. The water prison around Neji explodes and he destroys the clone, blocking him and the one trapping Lee, who attacks the last clone, freeing Ten. Are you alright, Ten-chan? Why yeah, thanks Neji-kun. We're saved. Lee says. Then Kisame flees up the pillars and Guy follows him and jumps into a crane stance. That stance. Kisame swings at Guy, but a blazing fast kick. He's fast. Kisame thinks. Guy slams his foot into Kisame's chin, sending him flying upward. Is that? Ten asks. Yeah, it is. Neji responds. Game over. Lee smiles. Then Guy teleports in front of Kisame and starts pounding at him with blazing fist. Asakujaku. Then with a final punch Kisame rockets into the water, causing steam and the blasts into the ground, and the heat evaporates all the water. Looks like it's all over. Pakun says more to himself. I do get the feeling that I've seen him somewhere before. Guy says. You really don't remember? Lee asks. It looked like he knew a lot about you, Guy-sensei, Ten continued. What's going on? Neji says, observing the corpse of Kisame, only for Kisame to morph into some random Sanchunin. Did he disguise himself with a transformation jutsu? Lee asks. No, it was far too advanced for that. Anyway, we need to keep moving. Right, let's hurry. This way. Pakun says. Then they follow the dog off into the land of rivers. That was similar to my shape-shifting technique. Naruto reminisces with their encounter with Itachi. What do you mean? Chio asks. The encounter with Itachi, I can't believe I fell for my own jutsu, but now we need to be careful, not even I can tell the difference between the face and original. Naruto then looks at Chio. Who was the one who sealed the Shukaku in Gaara? Me. Why do you ask? You did a shitty job, Naruto said bluntly. Next time you want to seal the Shukaku, use a better seal or call a seal master such as myself. Are you insulting my sealing abilities? Didn't I just say that you did a shitty job? I'll tell you about my seal, the one that holds the Kyubi at bay. It's a tetragram seal so advanced that I could probably hold all 9 back without fear. However, what is important is that Hashirama-sama entrusted you with the Shukaku and you turned him into a weapon. This is not what he wanted. You dishonor his memory. Naruto then falls silent and says no more. Itachi and Kisame open their eyes and look at their fellow members. Leader Sama, I have grave news to report. Itachi says. What is it? Pain asks. The Kyubi Jinchuriki has grown very powerful. He very easily overwhelmed me. I think it was a mistake to let him grow so strong. How strong is he? As I said, he very easily overwhelmed me and he never once called on the Kyubi's power. We have a true disaster on our hands. If grows any stronger, he could take us all out. The other 9 members' eyes widened in shock. Your concerns are noted, Itachi. Ha. Ha. You got your ass kicked. Hidan says, laughing. Shut up, Hidan, or I'll kill you. Pain threatens. Around sunset they landed in a clearing and Naruto looked around when Kakashi called out. Wait. All eyes fall on him. We need to rest here for the night. We don't have time on our side, Kakashi-sensei. We've already lost a lot to the fake Itachi. If we wait any longer, Gaara will be lost. Naruto responds. Hey Madara-sensei, how long does it take to seal a bijou in the statue? I don't rightly know, I never had to do so myself, but you have to remember that his seal is extremely fragile, so I have no idea, unfortunately. I know that, but unfortunately it's better to wait and be at full strength than be weakened and have to fight Gaara's captors weakened and tired. He's right, Naruto. Hashirama says. Well, you're still at full strength as you conserved a lot of chakra, but we still need to rest. Fine, Naruto said begrudgingly. Once everyone woke up, they continued through the forest at an accelerated rate, but eventually Naruto grew frustrated and decreased his weights and rocketed at an even faster pace. Naruto, wait, Sakura shouted after him, but to no avail. Why does Naruto care about someone who's not even from his village? Chio asks Kakashi. Because Naruto is Jinchuriki like Gaara. Kakashi responds. Chio's eyes widen in shock. In his gut is the nine-tailed fox. There is only 7 other people in the world that could ever understand Gaara's pain, and Naruto is one of them. I see. I guess in the end my life was nothing more than a concave of failures. Now the one village I hated more than others is now the only one helping us. The 9 members stood in silence as the last of Shukaku's chakra entered the statue. Fucking finally. Hidan cursed. Certainly took long enough. Kisame noted. The Ichibi has been sealed, Pain said in his usual emotionless voice. Chiyoba-chan is on her way. This will be interesting. Sasori thought to himself. We've got guests to entertain. Sasori, my man. Deidara, I guess. Sasori, Deidara, get ready for the guests and deal with them, Pain said commandingly. Hi, Leader-sama. Deidara and Sasori said. Then they jumped at the statue's fingers when it though occurred to Deidara. Hey Itachi, you've faced the Kyuubi Jinchuriki before. How will know which one is him? Deidara asked. The one who makes you shit your pants and could pass Madara Uchiha's son is your answer, Itachi said as he and the other holograms vanished. Guy and his team landed in front of a very large boulder with a tag with the kanji for forbidden on it. Is this the place? Guy asks. Pakun. Gaara is behind that rock. They've set up a barrier. What do we do? Tenten asked. We should break in. Lee says, fire in his eyes. No. Guy says as he turns around just as Kakashi and his squad arrived. You're late, Kakashi. Well, we ran into some trouble on the way here. Kakashi says. Naruto walks over to Neji. Hey Ni-san, I hear you're down and congrats. Naruto says smiling. I beat you to Jown and you owe me big time. Neji says smiling, remembering their bet. Neji walked into the Hyuga compound with an eat shit grin on his face. Neji Ni-san. Naruto and Hinata ran in. I did it. I'm a genin, Neji said proudly. You're a year older than we are. That's not fair. Naruto pouted. Fine, I'll give you that. How about this, we make a bet? Sure, what kind? First one to reach Jounin gets one favor from the other, no holds barred. Deal, Naruto said as he and Neji shook on it. Alright, what do you want? Naruto asked. Could you get Tenten-chan and I into the Golden Lotus? Neji said, poking his fingers together, reminiscent on how Hinata used to do so before she met Naruto. Sure thing. Naruto looked at the barrier in front of him, his eyes spinning outward to the Rinnegan. This is a 5-seal barrier, Neji. What's going on inside? Let me look. Neji activated his Byakugan and peered inside and saw the demon statue look back at him. What the hell? Neji rails back in shock. What is it, Ni-san? There is this weird statue in the middle and it's got 9 eyes. 6 of them don't have pupils like mine, but one of them that does look at me. The ghetto statue. Naruto says in horror. Wait, did you say 3 eyes have pupils? Yeah, why? Shit. Naruto cursed. We're too late, they've sealed the Ichibi. How do you know? Because I can summon that statue, and last time I summoned it there were only 2 eyes were open. No. Chio sinks in despair. Don't worry, as soon as we find a way around the barrier I can use Rin Rebirth to bring him back. But I know what to do. We need to find other 4 tags with the same kanji on them, Neji, if you would. Right. Neji says and activates his Byakugan and starts looking around them. After a few minutes of searching, Neji calls out. I found them. One is on top of a boulder about 500 meters northeast of here. Another one is on a tree trunk in a gorge, 350 meters southeast of here. The third one is on a cliffside 600 meters to the northwest, the last one is 800 meters southwest of here. Those are the 4 locations. If that's the case, then they're pretty far away. What's the signal going to be? Sakura asks. No need, wireless radios can traverse that distance. Guy says and he hands out the radios to Kakashi, Lee, Neji, and Tenten while keeping one for himself. We will remove the 4 seals surrounding the area if this is a race against the clock, then my team's the quickest. We're counting on you. Naruto says. But remember they must be removed simultaneously or it won't work. Yoshi shall take the one in the forest. Yes, Guy-sensei. Lee says. Neji will take the one on the boulder. Gotcha. Neji says. Tenten shall take the one in the gorge and I will take down the one on the cliffside. When everyone puts their radios on, Lee says. Can everyone hear me? Unfortunately his radio's mic was turned up too high and it gave everyone an ear-splitting sound to which everyone with the radio got pissed off at. Lee, your mic is up too high. Tenten says, pissed off. I'm sorry. Again the noise gave everyone a headache. Lee, hey Lee, Guy said, motioning for him to turn down the mic, which he did. I'm sorry. Dear Kami-sama, he's an idiot, Madara says. His heart is in the right place though. Hashirama responds. The radio settings are good to go. Right team Guy. Guy says, and then he holds out his hand, and after a few seconds Lee held out his hand and placed it on top of Guy's hand, and Guy smiled, then looked at Tenten and made a grunting expecting noise, and Tenten and she shook her head, then stuck her hand on top of Lee's. Then Guy looked at Neji, who had an expression that clearly said forget it, and Guy kept making noises, and eventually Neji gave in and placed his hand on Tenten's. Fight with the full power of youth. Fight. 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 And one more fight. Now. Then Neji and the others scattered to the winds. Sasori and Deidara watched the boulder, and eventually Deidara spoke. They're slow, very slow, I wish they'd hurry up. I hate being kept waiting, Sasori said, when suddenly the boulder shattered and then Kakashi, Sakura, Naruto and Chio charged in, and then Naruto unleashed a blast of chakra and, true to Itachi's warning, Deidara soiled himself and Sasori felt his blood run cold. Sasori looked Naruto over and noticed that he looked very similar to Madara Uchiha. Looks like Itachi was spot on. The Jinchuriki looks just like Madara, but was the first part of his hint true? Yes, Deidara said sadly. Ew, everyone said as the smell of shit reached their noses. Go change yourself, I'll deal with the intruders, Sasori said, and then Deidara left. Naruto held out his hand. Universal Naruto started, but Kakashi stopped him. Wait Naruto, I don't think that you should do that. Kakashi says. He has to pay for what he's done to Gaara. He's a master of poison, Naruto, we have to be careful, one scratch can be deadly. You know what I think? Duh. Naruto made a jackass face. Just then Deidara walked back into the room in a new cloak. Sorry for the wait, I had to search the back room for a new cloak that fit me. Now where were we? Deidara makes a few hand signs, then a new clay bird rises up and grabs Gaara in its mouth, and Deidara jumps on its back and flies out, and Naruto runs after. Deidara activating his Sharingan and analyzed the bird to the best of his abilities. Seems to be made of earth chakra if the hand signs were anything to base it on. Madara said. So in theory lightning chakra would be my best bet. Problem is I don't know that many lightning jutsu. The only one I know is a short range technique, and I don't think you guys know any, Naruto said. Wise boy, but that's to the problem with Susano. Those things won't be a problem. Right now get back Gaara. Naruto kept dashing after Deidara when Naruto sensed Kakashi's chakra coming after him, and he turned around and saw Kakashi running after him. Naruto, wait, Kakashi yelled after Naruto, but to no avail. Just then a bunch of small spider-like creatures started falling from the sky, and Naruto activated his Mangekyo and his Susano rose up, and the mini explosives blow up in his face, but the Susano holds strong. Oh, now that's interesting, wait a second. Deidara thinks, then he pulls back his hair and uses the camera on his left eye, zooms in on Naruto eyes. Into his shock he sees the Mangekyo Sharingan. He's got the Mangekyo just like Itachi. I'm done playing games. Naruto thinks and starts channeling chakra into his right eye. Amaterasu. Shit. Deidara curses as he dodges the black flames that start springing up. Careful Naruto, if you hit that bird it's all over for Gaara. Kurama says. I know Kurama. Naruto cursed back, causing more black flames to erupt, burning up most of the surrounding forest. Then Naruto jumps after him and formed hand signs. Fire style, dragon flame caterwall. Naruto spat fire high into the sky. Just how much chakra does this Jinchuriki have? He's spamming high-rank jutsu like it's shuriken? Deidara thinks as he dodges another blast of fire. Then it starts raining, and Deidara looks up and with a shocked look and sees the gathering clouds, and to his shock he realized that they were thunder clouds. What the hell is he planning, and what's with the thunder clouds? Deidara zoomed in on Naruto and start reading his lips. Behold my strongest lightning jutsu. Strongest lightning jutsu? That's what he's planning. He wants to take advantage of the incredible energy in the atmosphere. Lightning style, Wrath of the Thunder God. And then in a flash of thunder the image of lightning dragon the size of Shenron came flashing down from the heavens and obliterated everything. Temari was watching the area where the Akatsuki hidden base was when suddenly she saw a gigantic thundercloud start forming, and seconds later she saw a dragon coiled in the cloud. Then in a flash the enormous dragon rocketed down and blinded her with its flash, and when her vision returned the entire forest was completely obliterated. Holy shit! Temari cursed as she saw the complete devastation of the area. Deidara struggled to his feet, his arms blasted off and he was bleeding heavily. Naruto had Gaara in his hands, his chakra seriously depleted, but he could stand. Damn, even with my advanced reserves Izanagi is still a drainer. Naruto thinks. Well, if the alternative is losing, and I personally I'd go for the chakra drainage. Madara says offhandedly. I guess, but the point is Gaara's safe. But how do you like my new jutsu? When did you make that one up? I based it off of one of my transformations. That's easily S rank. I mean, this used to be a forest all obliterated in the blink of an eye. Just then Kakashi appeared next to Naruto. Holy crap! Kakashi said. What do you think of my new jutsu? You've got to teach it to me, Kakashi said, a happy gleam in his eye. Sure, for a few lightning style ninjutsu lessons I'll teach it to you. Naruto suddenly felt Deidara chakra vanish and he cursed. Don't worry about it, Naruto, we've got Gaara back, we'll handle the details later. Right. Sasori was twitching. Hiruko stayed irritated. Sakura gulped at the experience and power radiating off of Sasori. Don't be frightened, Sakura, Chio says, and she steps forward. You just stay back here and I'll fight him. Chio reaches in her sleeves and pulls out a bunch of kunai attached with chakra strings. Assault blades. The kunai go flying at Sasori and Hiruko's tail blocks them, but Chio shifts her hands and some of the kunai fly to the left or right and most are blocked by Hiruko's tail, but two of them rip his Akatsuki robes. If you insist upon defying me, then I have no choice, Sasori said, and his robes ripped more and he dropped into a four-legged stance and a beast mask on his back and a mechanical-looking arm for his left arm. Will you become part of my collection along with that brat, Granny Chio? What the hell is that? Sakura asks, frightened. That's not Sasori's real form. If that's true, then I think I get what you're saying. Correct, that's a puppet. But a puppet master has to be pulling the strings from somewhere, so where is his real body? His real body is inside that. Inside? Puppet masters are very poor at close combat. While controlling the puppet they leave themselves open to attack. In other words, that puppet is a way around that. The puppet becomes their armor and weapon. This is Sasori's 18th puppet, Hiruko. Lady Chio, do you know that puppet? Yes, I know it well. But do you know how I prepare a specimen for my collection? Sasori asks. First I tear out the organs. Once I've washed it clean, I drain all the blood. After I've made sure it won't decay, I fill it with weapons and traps, and make its addition official. Just as the old hag said, this one is called Hiruko. Once I've added you and the girl, I'll have collected exactly 300. This is my art. Art, huh? Chio asks. Lady Chio? Sakura asks. Back in the Hidden Sand Village, Sasori made fascinating puppets, but his really passion was for making puppets out of the living and collecting them. He calls this monstrous act art. That puppet Hiruko was a shinobi from our village. Sasori turned him into what you see now. Puppets that maintain their original forms are called human puppets. Human puppets? And your next you will become one of my works of art, Sasori said. Hiruko is a battle puppet, but regardless we must first separate it from Sasori. So what should we do? Sakura asked. His additions to the puppet are the most dangerous part. Without knowing what he's done to it, we can't tell where and how he'll attack, Chio said, but you know how that puppet works, we have the advantage. That's why I said was going to go by myself at first. At first? But now I don't think that will work. Why not? This puppet is different than the Hiruko I knew. For instance, it never had a large shell on it, so defenses have been heightened, and that left arm is new to me. In which case he may have banged. The most important weapons have been changed as well. So what do we do? To defeat Sasori we must destroy Hiruko first. Unfortunately I don't have the physical strength to smash it. But Sakura, you do. With all her training you wield the monstrous strength of Lady Tsunade herself. Listen closely, Sakura. First we'll get close to him and break his puppet with your strength, but you must dodge all his attacks, every last one. You can't let them even scratch you. Because they're poisoned. Exactly, even the slightest scratch can be life-threatening. In order to avoid the puppet's traps you must understand the battle style of puppeteers. Consider the full capabilities of the enemy puppet and make quick judgments about how to move. However, that takes years of battle experience that you simply don't have. Then how? What do you see me as? Some useless old prune? Chio reached up and undid the bow at her head. Or, leave it to me. That's why I'm here. His advantage does not lie in actual experience. He knows this, which is why he won't attack recklessly. He is the type of man who hates to be kept waiting or keep people waiting, so for someone like him this must be very infuriating, and besides we get the first move. Sakura, lend me your ears. Together, you and I will defeat him. What are they plotting? I can't hear anything that they are saying. Sasori thinks. Got it. Sakura says. Let me handle it. Are you ready yet? You know I hate to wait. Relax, soon. We'll defeat you. Chio says. Then both she and Sakura charge Sasori, who rips off the cloth at his mouth and starts firing a barrage of needles coated in poison. However, Sakura and Chio dodge every single one. You saw through it well then. Sasori launches his left rocket hand at them. Die. Then the wooden containers open up, revealing more needles, but again Sakura and Chio dodge every single one with ease. They dodge that attack, too? Sasori looks on, analyzing his opponents. Forget Granny Chio, but this kid, too? Just then Sakura starts charging. Relax, soon. We'll defeat you. Chio says. Then both she and Sakura charge Sasori, who rips off the cloth at his mouth and starts firing a barrage of needles coated in poison. However, Sakura and Chio dodge every single one. You saw through it well then. Sasori launches his left rocket hand at them. Die. Then the wooden containers open up, revealing more needles, but again Sakura and Chio dodge every single one with ease. They dodge that attack, too? Sasori looks on, analyzing his opponents. Forget Granny Chio, but this kid, too? Just then Sakura starts charging. Why? And Granny Chio has stopped moving. She's really underestimating me. Sakura threw some shuriken, which Sasori easily blocked. With Hiruko's tail, then he sends it at Sakura, but just before it makes contact it stops. Now I see. Chio, it's been 20 years since I last saw my grandson's face. The cloaked figure twitched his hand and Hiruko's head rocketed into the air and a hidden compartment in the neck fired out needles, but Chio's hands started moving and Sakura flipped through the air and then landed just in front of the rain of needles. As I thought, just what I would expect from my own grandmother. No wonder that girl dodged my attacks so easily. She had you, who could see right through them, controlling her with chakra strings. He knows. Sakura thinks in fear. On top of that, you secretly put some on Hiruko's tail. But for me not to have noticed until I was unable to move the tail. You transferred the chakra strings connected to the kunai onto the tail as I blocked them. Impressive, considering that I suppressed the chakra flow to the point of making the threads invisible. It wasn't hard after all. You're the one who taught me how to play with puppets. Sasori reached for the hood covering his face. But today, the game's come to an end. That's the plan. But honestly, do you think it will be that simple, Granny Chio? He's Sasori. Sakura says, shocked. What is the meaning of this? He looks the same. He hasn't aged a day. Chio says, shocked. What's going on? I thought Sasori left the Sand Village over 20 years ago. How can he be so young? What's wrong, Granny Chio? Are you so chalked up that you can't even speak? Sasori asked. It's okay, it's our first reunion in 20 years. Sasori, you, Chio said, shocked. Want to see what's up my sleeve? Sasori took out a scroll and started to unfurl it. This might be even more shocking. He was the hardest to kill and add to my collection. 3? Sakura thought, confused, but that's what makes him my favorite. Sasori channeled chakra into the scroll and in a flash of smoke a puppet appeared. That's... It can't be. Chio says in fear. What? What's wrong? Sakura asks. That's the third Kazakage. The third Kazakage? Sasori started laughing at the expressions of fear on their faces. Well? Does this take you back, Granny Chio? Sasori asked. Lady Chio, how can the third Kazakage? How terrible. Chio growled in fury then. It happened over 20 years ago. The third Kazakage suddenly vanished without a trace. We did everything we could but we never able to find him, the most powerful Kazakage in history, but we could never find him. Sasori, it was you? And so what if it was? Sasori asked. You're telling me a retired old hag about to keel over is going to avenge him? How admirable. Even if I'm retired and about to die. I just have to remember the past. I have too many regrets to die just yet. Especially when I see that my grandson boss become a villain. You betray the village and have attacked 3 Kazakage. 3? Sakura asks. Orochimaru may have been the one who killed Gaara's father, the fourth Kazakage. But I know your companions were behind it. Now the third Kazakage and now even Gaara. Easy, I don't know anything about the fourth, Sasori said. I only have control over my own subordinates. Given that he did the exact same thing as you, though, how can you say it was unrelated? It is true that Orochimaru was my original Akatsuki partner, and we accomplished a lot together. You, Sakura said. If you worked with Orochimaru you must know all about him. I have a lot of questions for you. Sakura. Chio thinks concerned. Sorry kid, I have to finish, you too often catch the Jinchuriki. Just then a huge explosion rocked the entire base. What the hell was that? That would be Naruto. Sakura says smiling. One kid did that? Yeah he did, and if he wanted to he could destroy an entire village if he wanted to, and he's only getting stronger. So good luck capturing him. Whatever, I don't have time for questions. Now let's do this. Sasori starts moving his hands and the third Kazekage goes flying in, and with a twitch of his fingers the third Kazekage flew in at Sakura, then she jumps out of the way, but the third extends a poison blade which with quick thinking Hiruko's tail sprung up, but the blade shredded it. It even destroyed Hiruko's tail? Chio thinks shocked. Nice granny Chio, but not good enough. Sasori twitched his hands again and the third's other hand extended and a bunch ceiling symbols appeared and a bunch more hands rocketed out at Sakura, and she tried to dodge, but in the end the hands nearly grabbed her. She didn't die. Safe. Sakura thought with relief. I won't be able to capture here while Granny's in control. Sasori thought. So try this on for size. One of the hands detached and fired a cloud of poison at Sakura. Sakura, hold your breath, Chio shouted, and Sakura did. It doesn't matter where she goes when you're trapped in a cloud of poison gas. Sasori smiled. Sakura. Chio pulled on the chakra strings. I don't think so. A second hand launched two kunai on ropes. When Chio tried to pull she couldn't. What is this? Kunai with ropes, you're supposed to block them, not try and dodge. Chio pulled again, but Sasori pulled on his ropes. Damn you. You're hell-bent on not letting her go. It's pointless, Granny Chio. She'll die from even inhaling the slightest bit of poison. Damn it, I can't move and I can't breathe. Sakura thought, then she remembered her teammates and how on their first C rank she froze up from the bandits, and later when Kurenai told her the true horrors of being a kunoichi and what capture meant. She remembered her promise to never freeze up again or be weak again. Just then the cloud of gas started to disperse as the store ran out. That cloud of gas will vanish soon, hold on Sakura. Chio thought. I have one more supply of poison, you know. Sasori smirked as another blast of the gas fired off towards Sakura, when suddenly another explosion went off and the cloud dispersed and Sakura flew back and was caught by Chio. Oh, not bad. Hang on Sakura. Chio then noticed something really bad. Oh no, she's not breathing. Chio slapped Sakura's back, restarting her lungs. She used a paper bomb to disperse the gas in order to escape a trap. Sakura got back on her knees and started standing up. You, Sakura said as she glared at Sasori. You can blow off my limbs, you can paralyze me with poison. No matter what you come at me with, no matter what tricks you have up your sleeve. I'll make you tell me about Orochimaru. Got it? Sasori doesn't respond but merely lifts his fingers and a few of the hands fire off kunai at Sakura, who closes her eyes and waits for the end, but it never comes. When Sakura opens her eyes, two puppets were in front of her blocking the kunai. A man should listen quietly when a woman speaks to him. Chio scolds. Oh, those? Sasori says. So you do remember them? Yeah, more or less. The very first puppets you created. The father and the mother. Father and mother? Sakura asked. So those are Sasori's. And what do you plan on doing with those? Sasori asked. I made those puppets. I know all their secrets. How stupid. I wonder about that, Chio said. Just then Chio had the mother and father puppets claps hands, then they separated and wire appeared between them. Wire? Sakura thinks confused. Sakura, stand back. Right. Then the mother and father puppets charged forward, and with twitch of his hands the huge pile of hands from the third Kazekage rose up. Then they shot towards Chio, but the puppets sliced the hands to pieces. Sasori detaches the hand and then a circulating buzzsaw. Chio made hand movements and the father draws out a kunai whip. And the mother drew a sword. Then the three puppets attacked each other, countering blow for blow. Chio and Sasori's hands sped up as the puppets performed an intriguing dance. Attacking and countering blow for blow. Eventually they separated, all of their weapons were destroyed. This is getting annoying, guess it's time for me to bring that out. Sasori makes a hand sign and the third Kazekage opens its mouth and black sand poured out. So that puppet can really use the third's techniques. It's been a while since you've seen it, right? This is the reason why the third Kazakage was known as the strongest in the village. The two of you are about to go against it. What is that? Sakura asked. The most terrifying weapon in the history of the hidden sand. The iron sand. Iron sand? At one time, it was a technique that Shukaku's host used. It's a technique that the third invented himself. He could mold the iron sand into various forms, changing it into weapons appropriate to the situation. The third Kazakage had a unique body that allowed him to change his chakra into a magnetic field. It looks like the puppet can use this technique. But how can that be? Even though he's using the third Kazakage's body, it's still a puppet. How can a doll have chakra? No. Human puppets are made from real flesh, are different than normal puppets like his father and mother. Sasori is the only one able to make human puppets. They were made to retain the chakra they had when they were still alive, and going by that, his is able to make use of any techniques they had when they were still alive. That's a human puppet's greatest advantage. Eventually a huge amount of iron sand had poured from the third Kazakage's mouth and then it closed. That's not all, Sasori said smiling. After all, they are part of my beloved collection. Sakura, you need to get out of here. I'll fight him by myself. This is unexpected. You don't stand a chance against something like that. You're too slow. Sasori's hand twitched and iron sand bullets fired at both of them. Oh no! Chio twitched her fingers and took Sakura out of the way and the bullets fired, but when the dust clears, Sakura is uninjured and chakra shield protects Chio. I see you've been messing with them. The chakra shield, seems that he's been upgraded since he last played with me. Chio is breathing heavily and when she deactivates it and goes to close the arms, she finds they won't close and then she sees iron sand clogging its joints. The iron sand is preventing it from moving. You know you have to dodge that technique, not block it. Was letting the girl escape all you could manage? I've pumped his body full of iron sand. As long as I have the third's magnetic powers, he's useless. This time, I'm going to attack both of you at once. In order to make sure I finish you off, I'm going to put it in Vorpal mode. Sakura looks up and with horror sees that she and Chio are targeted. What I wouldn't give for Naruto's Rasengan. Sakura thinks. One puppet can't defend two people who will die? The blast of sand attacks and again when the dust clears, both Sakura and Chio are saved. You turn part of your body into a puppet even if it was just an arm. Again the sand creep into the limbs of the puppet and Chio. Great puppet masters think alike, I suppose. When they both fail to close, Chio gets angry and remembered when she first saw Sasori. I see. So that's it. Once the iron sand gets inside, it's over. You're out of puppets. What are you going to do, Granny Chio? Chio remembers when she first heard of her son's death. Even if you're an elite puppet master, without puppets, you're just a regular person. Chio detached her arm and more iron sand leaked out of the third's mouth, forming wings and then an iron pyramid and cinder block. There's me and someone else. What should I do in this situation? Sakura, you have to run for it. Sakura, what's wrong? I told you. You can't fight that. Run while I stall him. Run? Abandon Lady Chio and escape alone? No. There must be something I can do even now. Sakura thinks, then she looks at Chio. What I can do now is... Sakura grits her teeth. Lady Chio. Please use me. Chio yells back in shock. The least I can do is become Lady Chio's puppet and fight. Sasori raised an eyebrow in mild surprise. If you use a puppet made of flesh, his iron sand won't have any effect. I only have one arm now, I can't support you like I did before. It's okay. Maybe I don't have any secret weapons built into me like a puppet, but I have my master's hatred of losing. Princess Tsunade, huh? Chio attaches chakra thread to Sakura. The third's abilities lie in magnetism. Iron and steel weapons won't work. Sounds good to me. I have my master's prowess in hand-to-hand combat. That again? How lame, Sasori said, bored. Then Sakura rushed in and then Sasori threw the iron pyramid shot at Sakura, but Chio pulled Sakura back only for the iron cinder block to come crashing down, but Sakura jumped back and then she charged in and punched the block back at Sasori, causing a huge shock wave, but Sasori dodged it. Bitch. I'm not done yet, Sakura roared. Sasori moved the block and pyramid and then the pyramid started spinning and shot at Sakura, which she dodged only for the cinder block to go flying at her, but she dodged again. Then the spinning pyramid shot at her again and she leapt of the cinder block and punched the pyramid with all her strength. Then when the cinder block shot at her, she kicked into the ceiling. Then the block fell towards Sakura, but she dodged only for the spinning pyramid to shoot at her. Sakura, Chio shouted. Cha. Sakura smashed the pyramid and sent it crashing into the ground. The damage to the walls caused the ceiling to collapse. "That's a lot of power for a little girl," Sasori sneered. "She's begun to read Sasori's movements and attack patterns in just a short time." Chio thought, shocked. "And she's doing fairly well without my assistance. I had no idea she'd be this skilled. This girl is impressive." Sasori attacked again and again and Sakura dodged very easily. That Tsunade found herself a good pupil. Sakura kept attacking the blocks, causing them to crash into each other. His fingers always move before he attacks. He's manipulating the puppet by the chakra strings attached to his fingers, so that makes sense. That's the puppet's main weakness, and I'm starting to see where Sasori's attacks will go based on how he moves his hands and arms. She's watching too closely. I'm going to have to stop using so little chakra. I'll finish her off with that. Sasori thinks that he moves his arms, then the pillar and pyramid collided and chakra started oozing from the chest cavity on the third's chest. Iron Sand, World Order. Sasori uses iron sand to create a gigantic sphere of branching spikes. Then they start spreading out and attacking Sakura. Sakura tried her best to dodge the attacks, but eventually several cut her and she collapses. The poison is now seeping through her body. Left alone, the poison will kill her in 3 days, but I won't let her live that long. Then the third Kazakage charges Sakura, but then she shoots back up and smashes the third to pieces. Then the sand collapses around Sakura as the magnetic forces disperse with the third's chakra gone. "How are you still moving around?" "I used an antidote." "When did you make something like that?" "Back in the hidden sand when I was treating Kankuro. There was enough for 3 doses of the antidote. I used the first to heal Kankuro. I knew that our enemy used poison, so I put the other 2 into syringes and brought them with me." "I see, that's how. I used one of them just now. However, it will only work for around 3 minutes. During which time, no matter how much poison gets into my system, it'll all be broken down into harmless proteins." "I see. I couldn't let Sasori find out my antidote. I knew I had a chance when he would let his guard down as he used his final attack. That's why I didn't use it until the end. I just have one left. You should hang on to it, Lady Chio." "She nullified the poison?" Sasori thought. "She came up with an antidote by analyzing the poison I sued back when I attacked Kankuro? No, that's impossible. Even if by some miracle she was able to analyze it, making an antidote would have been extremely difficult. It's an extremely complex poison, and there's absolutely no room for mistakes when making an antidote. Even though it's my own creation, I needed ample preparation to make it." Sasori watches as Sakura heals Chio. "For the next 3 minutes, his poison won't affect me. The fight has to be won in the next 3 minutes." "Granny." "No, I know the limits of the Sand Village's medical ninja. Even Granny Chio couldn't create an antidote for this particular poison. This kid's a medical ninja? She is a ninja from Konoha and its current Hokage is Tsunade Senju, the world's greatest medical ninja. Don't tell me it was her." "Sakura, my left hand is fine now," Chio said to Sakura, and after Sakura cut the chakra she collapsed and breathing heavily. Attacks with super strength, evasive movements, and healing wounds. Each one takes a considerable amount of chakra. She's already reached her limit. "I've taken care most of the major wounds for now, at least for now," Sakura said. "I have to put the rest of my chakra into attacking." Sakura stood up. "I have to finish this in the next 3 minutes. There won't be a second chance." Chio picked the antidote and pockets it. "This antidote will only work for 3 minutes. I don't have time for this. Are you ready, Lady Chio?" "I am. Let's finish this." "If he's turned his entire body into a puppet, then I have to assume that all his weapons have been coated in poison." "What's wrong?" Sasori asks. "It's been over a minute since I used the antidote." "Weren't you going to finish this? If you weren't going to attack." Sasori raised his hands and one of the scrolls on his back dispersed into chakra. "It's only going to last for 2 more minutes. I need to draw him into close combat and finish off." But just then small pipes appeared on his hands. "I'll make the first move." Sasori released a jet of fire from his palms and Sakura and Chio jumped behind rocks. Hiding is useless. Sasori unleashed another blast of fire. "Now what will you do?" When the fire ends, Sakura jumps out and throws a kunai, but Sasori releases more fire and the kunai melts into nothingness. Sakura and Chio jumped around and eventually they landed behind the same rock. "We've only got a minute and a half left," Sakura said, then they jumped out. "Dodge, you old hag." Sasori shouted and blasted Chio with fire, but she substitutes with some ruble. Then the third's head popped up and shot at Sasori, but he burned it to a crisp. "Just as I thought, you attached chakra threads to it during our last go-around. But the same trick won't work twice. Too bad for you." 1 minute left. Sakura thought. Just then the scroll ran out of chakra. What's wrong, aren't you going to attack me? Then he fires a blast of water at them. Water, Sakura, move it. Chio shouts. They both jump back. Sasori runs around blast water, then he rotates his hands and then the pressure increased until it sliced through the rock with ease. Take that. More water sliced through the rocks. They kept dodging and eventually the water ran out. How long do you keep intending to run away? Only 20 seconds left. Sakura thinks. Well then. Sasori fires the steel rope in his gut and flew right at Sakura and it cut her, but again the antidote kept working. The antidote is still working if I can just endure the pain. Sakura grabs the end of the rope and she starts pulling on it. Sasori notices it. Pointless. 5 seconds. Sakura kept pulling and just before he reached Chio he was stopped short. 4 seconds. Sakura. Get over here, Sakura shouted and pulled Sasori towards her. Then when he got in fist range she punched Sasori, breaking him apart. After she did, Sakura collapsed from exhaustion. We did it, Lady Chio. Sakura, you. Chio trails off and just as Sakura walks towards Chio, Sasori reconstructs himself. You did what, exactly? Sasori asked. That's right, Chio said, rolling up her sleeve, then using chakra strings she pulled her other arm back to her, emptied it of iron sand, reattached it, then opened and closed the limb to test it. I'll get you this time. Then Chio reached into her pouch and pulled out a scroll with the word forbidden on it. I forbade myself from using this technique. I thought I would never need it again, but I suppose it's not that simple. Then Chio opens the scroll, channels chakra into it and 10 puppets come springing to life. Let's get this show on the road. Chio glares at Sasori. A puppet user's ability is measured by the number of puppets they can use. Impressive, Granny. There's so many of them, Sakura said, shocked. Of course, Granny. Chio's quintessential 10 fingers. I've heard rumors that those are the puppets you use to conquer a castle. Secret wide attack. Chikamatsu's collection of 10. The works of the fist puppet master, Monzemon. That's certainly an impressive collection of puppets. But Sasori draws out another scroll on his back, then opens a compartment on his chest, then opens the scroll and a huge assortment of puppets emerged. I use these to conquer an entire nation. He's come so far. Chio thinks. This is beyond annoying me. Just how long am I going to have to fight an old hag and a little girl? And to think, I even had to use my final puppets, Sasori said as he facepalmed. I'll give you a special showing of my secret red technique, the performance of 100. Sakura then runs over to Chio and turns to face Sasori, then heals the wound at her side. Sakura, your antidote isn't working anymore. Don't fight. Sakura simply smiles at Chio. By now, you should understand my personality. That's right, you inherited that from Tsunade, too. This will be the finale. Are you prepared? Yes. Here he comes. Then in an instant the puppets charged and both puppet masters sprang into action, attacking each other. At first the 10 easily overwhelmed the 100, but as more and more were destroyed, Sasori's control and coordination seemed to improve. Dealing with this many is too hard. Somehow we've got to take them all down in one shot. Sakura was then forced to dodge a barrage of weapons as she jumped into a crevice and the puppets crashed into it, piling up against one another to try and kill her. But eventually they started to overwhelm them and one of the puppets managed to cut Chio. Gotcha, bitch! Sasori thought with triumph. Eventually Chio tossed Sakura a small ball with the kanji for seal on it, and when she got the shot Sakura threw it at Sasori and it expanded into a cat-like monster and grabbed Sasori and pinned him to the wall and sealed all his chakra, stopping every single one of his puppets dead in their tracks. We got him. You can't get away now, Chio said, huffing from so much chakra use. That seal completely suppresses the target's chakra. You can no longer use your chakra strings, it's over, Sasori. Just then a puppet stood up and prepared to stab Chio from behind, but Sakura jumped in the way of the strike, taking the poison-covered blade instead. Sakura coughed up blood. Sakura. Lady Chio, can you still move? Are you alright? Still worried about her even with that wound? Sasori asked. Sasori, but how? Chio though shocked. Then she saw the heart-like object in the puppet's chest, then she looked at Sasori's body and saw that same piece missing from it. If you're a medic ninja then you should know the severity of your wound. Shut up! Sakura growled and stared, healing the wound. She's healing the wound and stopping the bleeding while the sword is still in her. Lady Chio, hurry up and take the antidote. Then Sakura's chakra fluctuated as the poison spread through her body. My chakra's going haywire. Just then Chio stabbed Sakura with the antidote. Why? Choosing death to save another, how stupid. Sasori started pulling on the sword but Sakura refused to let go. What? Sasori said. Your Achilles heel, so to speak. You let your guard down at the end, Sasori. Chio struggled out. It made sense, after all, you use chakra, therefore there has to be a living part in you. Chio coughed up blood. What? Now you can't move. How clever, you old bat, but you're still both going to die, you from the poison and her from the sword in her gut. I deliberately chose a spot that can't be healed. Game over. I've already finished with the first aid techniques. The technique I'm using now isn't a sampling healing technique. I'm transferring my life energy into her. You can't mean. It's a revival technique. A revival technique? This was a technique I originally created for you. To save your life if you ever needed it, only I can use it. With this technique one can bring even a puppet to life. At the cost of one's own life, of course. But, I guess that dream can never come true. Idiotic. How stupid have you gone senile, you old witch? Sakura, are you alright? Yeah, are you, Lady Chio? Sakura asked. What happened? Sasori asked. I thought your reincarnation technique was supposed to kill you. In exchange for breathing life into something. Sakura may have been critically injured, but she wasn't dead, Chio said. That's why I was able to survive. What a shame. Sakura socked Sasori, cracking his cheek. I'd stop if I were you, this body feels no pain. Keep hitting me and all you'll do is end up hurting your hand. You women just love to waste your time doing pointless things. Even if my grandmother were to die, my blood, right now I would feel nothing. My heart is as my body, she'd just be one more of the hundreds, the thousands, of others that I've killed. Things are much simpler this way. Don't you even know what life is? Sakura screamed. What family is? Hey, is that really something a shinobi should say? Why? Why is that the only way you can look at the world? It's okay, Sakura, Chio said. But Sasori was made into what he is by the twisted, misguided teachings of the Sand Village. Lady Chio. Why don't you try having a body like mine? Sasori asked. Maybe then you'll understand. A body that never decays is a body, unbound by mortality. As a puppet I can repair and recreate myself as often as I need. If I need other people I can just make them into more puppets, if I think they're worthy. A collection isn't just about numbers, quality is better than quantity. What the hell are you? If I had to choose, I'd say I'm a human who couldn't completely become a puppet. I guess. I exist as a puppet, but an incomplete one with a living human core. Not a person, but not a puppet either. I'll be dead soon. Before I go I guess I'll do something pointless, too. Consider it a reward for beating me. You wanted to know about Orochimaru, right? In 10 days go to the bridge of heaven and earth in the village hidden in the grass at noon. What's there? I've got a spy working as one of Orochimaru's subordinates. We were supposed to rendezvous there. Sasori trailed off and he dropped to the over. Lady Chio, I knew you could do it. No, I'm the one who should have been killed, Chio said. Sasori saw though my last attack, but for some reason, he didn't try to dodge. He left himself open. You don't think he? Who knows? Naruto had Gaara's corpse slung over his shoulder when he felt the darkness in Deidara appear in his range and he stopped. What's wrong, Naruto? Kakashi asked. Deidara's still alive. Naruto then felt 4 familiar chakra signatures over by Deidara. And he's fighting Guy, Lee, Neji and Tenten. Let's go. Kakashi and Naruto ran off towards where Naruto was picking up their chakra. When they arrived they saw Guy and the others surrounding Deidara. Slow as usual, Kakashi, Guy said, a twinkle in his eye. Well, what do you expect? We were fighting a member of the Akatsuki. We had to fight ourselves literally. Tenten complained. Wow, that would have been rough. Naruto said. Anyway, let's take care of. Kakashi turned to see that Deidara was gone. Crap. Nice try, Deidara. Naruto grabbed the air in front of him and then his eyes spun to the Rinnegan. But I see you, Petropath. Naruto then absorbed the chakra from the jutsu, revealing Deidara. Almighty push. Deidara went flying back and then Naruto looked at Kakashi's revealed Sharingan and to his shock it was a Mangekyo. Let me finish him, Naruto. When did you? Never mind, I don't want to know. Don't underestimate me, I still have clay left, Deidara sneered. Then he started eating the clay. Then he started to expand and Neji and Naruto's eyes widen in shock. He's going to blow himself up? Neji and Naruto shouted simultaneously. Touriartes. Deidara started to expand. An explosion. Deidara exploded outwards. We'll never escape in time. Naruto started weaving hand signs. Just then a dimensional rift opened up and the explosion started getting warped away, and Naruto looked at Kakashi and saw that his Sharingan was bleeding slightly. The side effects of a Mangekyo Sharingan. In a few seconds the explosion was completely warped away. "Naruto, is he gone?" Neji asked. "Truth is, I'm not sure. His chakra is scattered all over the area in the darkness and his heart is gone, so I'm going to wager yes." "Thanks for the save, Kakashi." Guy smiled only to see Kakashi collapsed on the ground clutching his eye, then he fell unconscious. Just then Sakura and Chio land next to them. "Naruto, I need your help. Lady Chio's been poisoned and she is the only who can save Gaara," Sakura said, frantic. "Right," Naruto said, his eyes swirling to the Rinnegan. "Nakara path." The King of Hell then emerged and he looked at Chio. "Lady Chio, please step inside the mouth. You will be restored to full strength." Inside its mouth?" Chio asked. "Correct, we don't have much time. If this doesn't work, I have one more idea in mind." Chio steps into the mouth and the King of Hell chews on her, and when she emerges she clenches her fists, testing her body out. "I'm good as new." "Now what was that technique you were talking about?" "A technique that breathes life into anyone at the cost of the user's life." Naruto's eyes widened, shocked. "That sounds just like Rin Rebirth, only the cost is greater." After a few seconds Gaara starts stirring, and when it fades Gaara's eyes open wide and staring, then Chio drops dead. "Lady Chio, rest in peace," Sakura said. "Not quite," Naruto said, stepping forward and weaving the hand signs Ram then Snake. "What do you mean?" "Outer path, art of Rin Rebirth," Naruto called out, and suddenly the King of Hell's mouth stretched out and then a green light flooded its mouth and a single beam of light connected with Chio and her eyes snapped open and she inhaled sharply. As this happened, the border patrols landed in the clearing, cheered out loud, having both their Kazakage and Chio alive. "Gaara-sama." Mitsuri ran up to Gaara and knocked Temari out of the way, and she hugged Gaara, crying her eyes out, and Gaara blushed a deep crimson and looked away, and then he struggled to his feet. "I'm fine, Mitsuri." "How?" Chio said after a couple of seconds. Naruto walked over, his Rinnegan glowing, sweat drenching his face. "You, really, shouldn't underestimate the Rinnegan. I used a very powerful technique called Art of Rin Rebirth to bring you back, but now I need a nap." Naruto collapsed. Zetsu and a man in an orange mask were in the base, and Zetsu was kicking over puppet after puppet looking for Sasori. Eventually a voice called out. "Mr. Zetsu, I found it," Tobi said, grabbing the ring off of Sasori's thumb, and looked at Zetsu. "Mr. Zetsu, do you think I can join the Akatsuki now? After all, there's an opening." "Idiot, it doesn't work like that," Black Zetsu said. "Why not just let me in, and Tobi is a good boy?" White Zetsu responded. Just then the ring that Tobi tossed into the air fell between his hands and fell into a crevice where he couldn't get it. "Mr. Zetsu, please wait for me." "Mr. Zetsu." Naruto and the others walked towards the gates of the Hidden Sand Village, and when they arrived, everyone had come to greet them. "Lord Kazakage," Baki said, then he looked at Naruto. "Thank you, Naruto, you've done the Hidden Sand a great service. I heard what you did." Baki bowed to Naruto. "We thank you, Rikudo-sama." Naruto looks shocked, and then the members of the Suna Council followed Baki's lead. Naruto and Gaara faced one another. "Don't think that just because you beat me to Kazakage doesn't mean that you've won the war, Gaara," Naruto said, then he held out his hand and Gaara grasped it. "I never imagined it was." Gaara responded, "If you ever need us again, call Gaara." "Will do." Then Naruto and the rest start walking back. Leaf, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.